I'm sorry, I have my own reasons why I don't want to support that movie, because I've stated the problem with this movie is that if you there's a big chunk between the 90s and when he died that you have to talk about, because again, my opinion on biopics is that you got to put the good and the bad. That's my issue with certain movies or biopics, is when they glorify someone without talking about the negative nature.
Okay. Dude, come on. I think you're overreacting a little.
Do me! Do me! Do me!
I have never felt such shit!
Oh my God.
So unbelievably uncool.
Oh God! Oh jeez. First of
You're
all,
welcome.
I do want to say I have to give credit where credit is due. Soren did most of the heavy lifting on the intro. He sent it to me. I think it was last night you sent that to me, or was it 2 nights ago? I was like, that's brilliant, but I have to add something at the end because I need to address the discourse. So I figured, hey, put that in there because that's what people are arguing about these days. There's so many things that, since we weren't on last week, that we need to talk about, and I might as well start with that discourse because, good fucking Lord, look, the Super Mario Galaxy movie was nothing compared to this. It was like not even a fucking minute. This is worse. This is worse. This is worse. And the fact is that I don't think anybody on any side is acting right now. I'm going to reiterate my point from that Mario discussion. You're both acting like children. Calm down. Granted, because of Michael Jackson's, controversy, I feel like this was inevitable. But I didn't know it was going to get this bad. Like, literally on Letterboxd. Okay, it has, at the time of I'm recording this, I believe the movie still has a 37% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, yes?
In a row?
I think so.
No, not in a row. Not that kind of movie. 37. Anyway, and then on Letterboxd, that's a 3.6. To the point where when you look at, that little chart that shows you the grade, I will put it up on the screen now. When that little green star on the side that tells you how much a specific number reviewed it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Most of it is 4 stars, but a lot of it is 5 stars. 7.7 on IMDb right now. 96 on the audience score on Tomatoes. This is, to me, God, I'm going to get fucking killed by saying this. This is reverse review bombing. This is reverse review bombing. It's in reverse. It really is. Excuse me.
I'm just the reason it's like I almost want to watch this movie is because I'm just so intrigued by, because it's, for me, it's different. Like our good buddy on here, Tanner, he watched the movie and he liked Michael.
Connor did too, and he's in the chat right now.
I feel like there is a difference between, like, people like, Hunter and Tanner who go in and watch Michael, and they understand what makes a movie good or not good, and they have their own taste and stuff, and they can sit down and enjoy something. But a general movie-going audience that is not at all interested in the critical side of, critiquing a movie or looking at the finer details are just like, the critics are just the worst people on earth.
Yes, I think one of the most popular reviews on Letterboxd. I swear to God, this is verbatim what I'm about to say. This review, it's one of the top highest liked ones. It literally, this is how juvenile we're gonna get. It literally says, and I quote, the critics can suck my hee-hee.
Oh my God. And here's the thing.
Wow,
too.
what to make an obvious joke. Fucking.
And here's the thing too. They act as if so I'm going to take the critics' side here in this instance. A lot of them are a lot of general movie-going audiences, or I'm talking more the TikTok audience, or social media, fans and stuff, are taking online and saying that critics are attacking the movie because it doesn't deal with particular issues in Michael's life, and they wouldn't do that anyway, because the movie takes place in ends in 1988 before any of that stuff happens. As far as I know, the majority of critics are not criticizing this movie because it ignores controversial topics.
It's because it's the Bohemian Rhapsody effect, as I call it. It's the same.
They just found it to be a bland
I
generic.
would think Michael is worse than the Bohemian Rhapsody.
And you know what? And then here's the thing too, because most general audiences don't listen to critics. It's like, why are you attacking the critics? You don't listen to them anyway.
I can say so much, but again, I criticize the audience as well as critics. So, when you're on this show, I'm not afraid to speak my mind when it comes to either side.
I'm going to say this too. I think too, it's just that people are very easy to please. I think a Michael biopic is at its core an incredible idea, like just a very interesting person from the music side and from his upbringing as a Jehovah's Witness and his relationship with his father, and then the controversy that we get into his later life. It is a story meant to be told, I think, on like a big screen. But I think that this movie catered itself to the Michael fan that just wants to
okay,
see...
he's here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I wasn't sure if he was going to come out here, but give me 1 second. I wasn't even fucking prepared.
Basically, that they just want performance porn, basically. Like, let's see it Thriller recreated from like 100%, but like they're like, oh man, Jafar Jackson, he moves, he's Michael reincarnated, blah blah.
I'm sorry.
I'm like,
I can't believe his name is Jafar. I'm sorry. What an unfortunate name because of Aladdin.
Can people hear me? Can people hear me?
Yeah, he can hear you.
Okay. Okay, I'm only going to be here
Forgive-
for a few minutes.
forgive-
I'm on
Before you
break.
go any further, forgive my cough, ladies and gentlemen. I got sick over this past week. I'm still dealing with the cold, but anyway.
Oh, no, you're good. Hell, I was supposed to be.
Chayton, you're on. You got cut off.
No, I can't hear.
Yeah, I can't hear
That's
him
right
anymore.
now.
No, there we go.
Give me a
There
second.
you go.
Give me a
You're
second.
good now.
Yeah, sorry. I'm basically in David's connectivity in terms of Wi-Fi, so all that. So blame David.
Blame the Boston Celtics if you have to.
Shit, I still am having issues. Give me a second.
Blame the fucking Celtics.
Wait a second.
Okay, testing. 1, 2, 3. Can everybody hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Uh-oh.
I'm also just saying that Rotten Tomatoes. This is the first time I'm noticing this. Rotten Tomatoes brought back the average of rated reviews. So, like,
Oh, it's almost like they did it because of the criticism that this movie is getting.
yeah, because I'm just looking at this, like, because now it has the average of rated reviews showing that, once you put all the scores together for Michael, it goes to a 4.9 out of 10.
Okay, I'm back. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Am I cutting off or
Yes.
anything? Okay, good. Okay, I'll make this as short and sweet because I have like maybe you don't even have to play the video, the video from earlier. Number one, I gave Avatar 1 out of 5. Way of Water, or as I call it, the Way of Boredom.
Great, I'm getting sick and I can't because of my cough, but because of this shit.
I gave it a Way of
Damn
Boredom.
cough.
A 1 out of 5. Main thing I gave it was that it's visually stunning, no surprise, and it's not offensive. Anyway, with that, outside of that, the Michael thing, right? I've made my stance on this movie. It's funny. One of the Michael Jackson's family members was saying it's time for the media to not control the narrative anymore, and for us to.
The media
and then,
never really controlled the narrative.
And then you know what's
I don't
funny?
think.
You know what's funny? A few days later, more allegations came out. So who's laughing now? Anyway, my point is, I stated this in my thing. I've heard from people saying, "Oh, it's so great dancing. It's a greatest hits compilation." Well, if you want to watch the real thing, go watch the music videos. They're free. You don't have to pay any money on this piece of shit film. Because I stand by that. Putting this money in this movie, you are celebrating a child groomer. I'm sorry to anybody who gets offended by that, but if you come to me and say, "Well, Chayton, he got it acquitted. So did O.J. Simpson. Do you still think he shot Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman?" My point taken. Anyway, like it sickens me that this movie is getting. And usually I don't like hell. I liked Mario. A lot of critics didn't like Mario. I get that. I'm not sitting here fucking upset that or like in this case. But Mario ain't a fucking child groomer. And I ain't the only one who
That we
thinks
know
who
of.
either thinks who thinks or believes this.
Not even the
You know-
cast of The Devil Wears Prada are groomers. At least I don't think they are.
Yeah, I saw those Prada too. Actually, it was actually fun. 3 out of 5 I would give it. But anyway, I'm seeing Mortal Kombat 2 on fucking Thursday. I would say go support that movie instead of that piece of shit Michael. Anyway,
No, support James Cameron's latest movie, that Billie Eilish concert documentary. Make him make $2 billion again.
you know what? I would rather them go support that because as far as we know, Billie Eilish ain't a child groomer either. Anyway, my point is that you everybody, not when I say you all, I mean the people that support this fucking film and they're singing his praises, fucking like what's next? A Diddy movie? What's next? An R. Kelly movie where they celebrate the life and then they all this other stuff. I don't even know if they can legally talk about the stuff because they were supposed to in the first.
like, because I know some people were like, but Chayton, they weren't like it ended. Spoiler alert! It ended in the late '80s. Well, correction, the movie was actually had a whole different beginning regarding the allegations, but that got reshot because of the hiccup by the Jackson family. Anyway, so I've heard every excuse from every person and all that. And hey, you can like the movie, you can dislike the movie, but know this: you are celebrating a man who maybe, okay, you could maybe say he didn't do anything. Okay, he held his own kid off of a balcony. That is not alleged as confirmed. He put his little baby in danger. And what pisses me off also is Sean Chandler trying to justify it. Oh, he
I don't
went
really
through
watch
abuse.
them anymore. What's going on with him?
Yeah, Sean Chandler was trying to justify like his abuse to his father. And if that happened, okay, I feel bad, but it doesn't justify the whole like just because you get abused as a kid doesn't mean you can abuse kids of your own or other kids. So again, fuck Sean Chandler. Fuck anybody who's trying to justify this movie and his reasoning for why he was a fucking weird motherfucker.
I'm wondering if because of like the original, scrapped third act and everything, if the original idea for this Michael movie was like because of like the abuse from his father, and that's supposedly what the movie kind of focuses in on a little bit and stuff, is that like the cycle continued because that is typically a pattern that you see, that the abused can become abusers.
I feel like it's
like the Drake Bell situation. It's sickening me. 1 second. It's like the Drake Bell situation where it's sickened me, where after the whole Dan Schneider thing came out, everybody's like, oh, we forgive you, Drake. Where's Drake Bell, for anybody who doesn't know? We forgive you, Drake Bell, and all this other stuff. I'm like, thinking it doesn't change the fact that he was grooming a fucking child. So it just baffles me, these sycophants out there who are trying to defend this movie and trying to say, like, everybody who's trying to say, oh, well, just wait for part 2. We don't even know if they're going to be able to talk about it.
I don't think they're going to make it. I stand by it. I don't think they're going to be able to make it.
I hope they don't.
Because apparently they, the end of the movie, I guess there's a stinger or something that, it lets the idea
continues.
It's like a to be continued card or something to say, hey, we might be making it, but with all this stuff, no, I don't think they're gonna fucking make it.
Like,
and this will be the final thing I'll say, because I'll get out here, so that way I'm sorry I keep interrupting, because I do have to go in a minute. But this will be the final thing I say before I go. Don't go support this movie. Don't go and watch Mortal Kombat 2 Obsession. That's coming out next week, which I'm really looking forward to. Movies like that, who actually by talent, like especially with Obsession, who is a talented director who is going to take a hit at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, which somebody new and fresh needs to revitalize that fucking series after all the shit we've gotten over the last decade plus. Anyway, go watch those movies.
Go back. He'll save it just like in 2003, maybe.
Well, yeah, I love the remake, so But anyway, my point is, instead of doing all that, instead of celebrating and or putting money in a movie glorifying a child predator, then instead of doing all that, go support some other movies. I've heard decent things about Mortal Kombat 2 so far. You know what? Go check that. That's what I'm going to do. I went to go see Devil Wears Prada 2 instead of fucking seeing Michael. And I'm not like the biggest Devil Wears Prada fan in the world.
Instead of Michael.
Hokum, I still got to see that. Is it good? Jared?
It's great. You'll love it.
Okay. My point is that
it's the best Silent Hill movie ever made.
Ooh. Okay. Well. Trust me, Jared. If I see it and I don't think so, I'm coming for your ass. Anyway, no I'm kidding. But yeah, so go see. Hell, you know what? I'll even say this: go see Avatar: The Way of Water on Disney Plus. You know what? You'd have probably a better time because, on the bright side, you ain't celebrating a child groomer. Anyway, I know it's gonna give me heat, but if anybody gets offended, I hope you fucking. I hope you get offended because you went to go spend money on a child groomer. Anyway, y'all take care, and ta-ta for now, guys, and have a great show.
Hey, Soren, do me a favor. Do another cold open and put that last part in there and do something with that. I know I'm gonna get shit if I do, but fuck it. I got no fucks to give. Anyway, I think he said it very. Oh God, here comes. Better shut the fuck up now. I think he said it about as well as it possibly could. I genuinely do think though that I feel like Michael did hurt the Devil Wears Prada 2's chances because I thought this shit was gonna make $100 million. I really thought so, but it ended up making roughly 76.8 million. So yeah, 76.8 million. So it's still very good, but I thought I was gonna do more. I genuinely thought so because of the hype, the advertising, the fact that they got rid of Sydney Sweeney. There you go. There's your show for the fucking week. Got 4 more weeks to go before I can stop talking about her. But Michael still made this amount in its second weekend, only a 44% drop. Yikes. There goes to show you that the Michael fan base, like the diehard, the people who would believe in everything, like he's a good person or whatever. Yeah, it goes to show. Number 3 was Mario. Number 4 was Project Hail Mary. Number 5 was Holcomb, which I heard a funny story about this from Jared.
I will probably go over that when it comes
oh
to
my
topics.
God, it's something.
It'll be better me telling it.
Number 6. Oh look, Angel Studios, look at you. Animal Farm, which I'm not surprised got slammed by critics.
I only hope Hunt for Gollum is good because, man, Andy Serkis is not doing well as a director.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be any good. Why do we need a fucking other one? We got the TV show, and people shit on the TV show. Dude, this is the real Lord of the Rings, this movie now. I'm like, no, just watch Rings of Power. Don't give me that shit about Black Elves. Don't give me that shit. It's a better show than whatever the fuck they're going to do with this. Number 7, or at least maybe the one with Stephen Colbert writing. I don't know why would you get Stephen Colbert to write Lord of the Rings movie, but that's besides the point. Number 7 is Lee Cronin's The Mummy, 60% drop from last time we spoke. So yeah, it's not doing too well. $27 million overall. Number 8 is Deep Water, which is the new, I think, Aaron Eckhart is in this, right? Is it Aaron Eckhart?
As far as I know.
Don't know this movie at all.
Let me have a look. Yep, it's Eckhart and Ben Kingsley too. Oh boy, it's another shark movie, so I bet you it's not that great. Number 9 has one of the weirdest titles I've ever heard in my life. That time that I got reincarnated as a slime, the movie Tears of the Azure Sea. What the fuck even is this? Oh, it's an anime
it's
title.
an anime.
Great. Did Crunchyroll release this one too? And number 10 was The Trauma. Yeah, it's been kind of a busy, because remember, the summer movie season is here. I forgot to mention, it's here now. We're in it now. Devil Wears Prada 2 was the first release, even though I don't give a shit to see it. But, there's, I'm just waiting till May 22nd at this point for Mandalorian Grogu.
Yeah.
I'm still praying that it's good. Please, for the love of God, do not fuck up as bad as season 3. Sorry, Jared. But yeah, I'm just gonna recover from this cough, and I'm gonna let Jared go first.
All right. So before I go into the raffle movie that I was selected by good old Victor here.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot. Here we go.
I will prolong that to talk about a movie I saw over the weekend. The new horror movie, Hokum. That's from the director Damien McCarthy, who did Caveat and Oddity. Oddity was like 2 years ago. This one stars Adam Scott, and it's about he plays himself basically. Adam Scott plays a author that is known kind of for just he's a well-known author, very prolific, but he also just has a tendency to look at like the worst in things, and so a lot of his books are not very happy and very dark. Well, he ends up traveling to a hotel in Ireland to spread his parents' ashes, and he ends up in this hotel that has a haunted room in it, and obviously he ends up in that haunted room. And we get some spooky things, some darkly lit scenes, and honestly, a really good character film. I loved this movie. It kind of reminded me in a way like when I saw Presents, because when I saw Presents, I thought that obviously I was going to get a horror movie from a ghost perspective, and I would see spooky stuff and everything, and that wasn't necessarily what I got. I got a family drama, more or less, with Presents, and it's one of those things where it's like I went into the movie, and then as I was watching the movie, my expectations changed and realizing what the movie was, and I loved that movie. Much in the way Hokum sets itself up to be a very kind of simple horror film when it is dealing a lot with dealing with your demons and past trauma, and it has a lot of
the
themes.
Same old typical elevated horror tropes, Jared. This does not sound like my kind of movie. I criticize this genre all the time.
It's got the spooky stuff in it, and then it's
Let me guess. He has to deal with the trauma of his parents. He has mommy and daddy issues.
He has some issues that involve both of them.
Oh, you see? Oh my God!
But I will say this, and I mentioned it when right before Chayton got off of here. This is the best Silent Hill movie ever made, because in a similar way to how the Silent Hill video games typically have, their horror elements and characters dealing with their own trauma, this deals with that in a very similar way, I feel like, and does a better job than I'm assuming Christoph Gans did with Return to Silent Hill, from what I have heard. But this movie just had that kind of feeling, and it has a really great atmosphere to it. The hotel room itself that a lot of the movie takes place in. Just incredible set design. I wish that I saw it in a better lit theater, because I saw it in the dark ass theater that I saw Screen 6 in, and I remember I could not see shit in that movie. So there was that, but Adam Scott is just very, very good in this. And I also was told from my friend that, without going into specifics, that apparently the ending that we have in this movie is not the ending that was originally scripted. The director, looked at the script and everything, and I think he kind of realized that it's like the ending he had was just very blunt and didn't necessarily tie into what he was wanting to say with the film. And so the new ending, I think, really rides home all of the themes that he very much wanted to explore. And this movie has some very, very good horror moments, especially some scenes dealing with a dumbwaiter that just got me so freaking tense. Like, where I'm just like having my eyes like this, and I'm like just waiting for the person. I'm just hoping that Adam Scott's gonna be okay, and I don't want to see the scary thing that's on screen. But also, this movie has a really good sense of humor. It could be a very dour film, but it also knows how to populate the film with some lighthearted moments. There's one character in particular who is this homeless man who gets involved in the story, and he is just like on shrooms all the time and everything. He is a really fun character, maybe my favorite character in the movie, just because of how fun that was. And I liked that. There was even some moments where it's like, oh man, it rode that line of being as odd and creepy while also being like making you like chuckle just a little bit. And it reminded me of in Silent Hill 2, the video game. You're going through all this dark, depressing, scary shit, and Pyramid Head is just, after you throughout the whole game, and then you're just in an elevator, and then all of a sudden you have some game show host talking on the intercom in the elevator, and it's just one of those things where it's like, it's a moment of like making you laugh, but you're also like, what's happening here? I loved this movie. It was just a blast to watch. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Just really good movie. But that wasn't the best part of the movie. The best part of the movie was what I've been wanting to say. I had yet another. I've told so many stories at this point of just interesting theater experiences from like those people that snuck into the movie theater and kept like sitting in people's seats that were taken, to people in The Conjuring just sitting around and then leaving the movie halfway through. So Morgan and I, so there was in total 5 people in our theater seeing Hokum. Me and Morgan were like in the middle of the theater. There was a guy up in the back, and then there was this boomer couple that comes in, and first of all, the lady talked so fucking loud. She had no inside voice whatsoever. And the one guy, okay, so I don't know how you guys are with your phones, but I have my phone set to where, you know, like the light, like the brightness on the phone will change, you know, like depending upon like the light of the lighting, you know, in the room itself and stuff. This guy has his brightness on to the max, and then maybe even some after that. Like, it is so freaking bright, and he's just looking at his phone, and then him and his wife are taking cute pictures and everything before the movie starts, at least. Like, this isn't happening during the movie, but thankfully. But yeah, so there was that. Morgan and I are just like, oh my god. And then throughout the entire freaking movie, well, when anything happened in this, so there is a scene in the movie where Adam Scott is in that hotel room and he finds like a little like kind of crawl space door that if you open it and you can enter into like the other side, like into another room.
Is Walt underneath there?
Huh?
Is Walt underneath there?
No. I wish though. But so he's banging on the door trying to open it, and then it cuts to a shot to reveal that he can't open it because it's locked on the other side. We visibly see this in the movie, and she has to announce very loudly, "Oh, that door is locked."
No shit.
And she says stuff like that throughout the entire movie. She's
oh my god, it's locked.
Oh, that's his mom. Or like, you know, things like that, just announcing the movie. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then at one point, the husband got a call on the phone. Thankfully, the phone was not very loud. But he got up to like leave the theater, which good on him. But he answers the damn phone while he's still in the theater. He has not started walking yet. At least he left and we didn't hear the conversation really, and then he came back. So then we get to the end of the movie. The movie is actually over at this point, and the lights have not come up yet. They get out of their seats, and the wife says, "How do we get out of here?" And, well, I would assume that her husband, who walked out of the theater just a little bit ago, you know, to answer the phone, he would clearly know that the exit to the theater is off to the side, and then you walk down the little ramp and you leave the theater. They start walking towards, you know, like the emergency exit that is, you know, at the theaters, like right at the theater screen in the front that, like, you know, leads to the endless hallway, you know, the back rooms. And they open the door. We watch them do this, and
has to go
and
out.
then they look, and they're like, nah, and then they don't go that way, and then they go the other way, the actual way to get out. I so wish that I had spoken to the other guy that was behind me and Morgan, just to see what his thoughts were on that couple. It was just the most insane thing. Like, these people, Morgan literally said after we saw the movie, and I was going to say this too after we saw the movie too, but she got to me first. She said, like, somebody needs, like, movie theater etiquette 101. Like, how you were supposed to behave. Like, it makes me wonder if, like, this couple had either just, if they weren't from here or had never gone to this theater before, but something just tells me that they're local and everything, and they're just, I have no idea.
Oh my God.
It was quite something. But,
oh my God.
And yeah,
they might as well, since they're narrating the whole fucking movie, they might have said, "Oh no, Uncle Ben! I hope he doesn't get hurt."
I mean, I'd watch that. I'd listen to that. But nah. So I will say it did not ruin my experience of Hokum. I still loved it and everything. In fact, it only enhanced my experience of Hokum. But yeah, so after that, I guess it is time for me to talk about my Cinco de Mayo movie.
Yay! I think we're gonna get. I feel like I did this on purpose.
Yes. On purpose. So I regretfully was not on the episode in which we spoke about the movie Magnolia. And Victor loves this movie. Soren loves this movie.
But I especially love this movie. I'm not going to discount Soren, but I love this movie more than he did.
Yeah.
I think.
I had not seen this movie.
That's even possible.
After, like, not being on the episode and stuff, I have attempted to watch this movie twice. So roughly around this same time I watched Boogie Nights for the first time, I was going to go into Magnolia and watch it. It was on Criterion Channel at the time. So I was going to do that, and I did not get very, very far at all. I literally got to what's his face, Jim in the apartment where he finds the body.
Oh, okay.
At the very beginning of the movie. That's probably pretty close to how far I got initially. And Morgan and I were watching it, and I was like, I'm not in the headspace to watch the movie at that point and everything. So then, couple more months passed by and everything, and I was like, you know what, I'll put on Magnolia. But I put it on again, and I was just really tired that day. I think I was just like, I'm tired. I'm not going to be able to pay attention to this movie, and this movie, I need to have my full attention for it. Cut to now. I'm forced to watch it for Victor.
Yeah.
For Victor. I messaged Victor as I was watching this movie. I only once and everything, just to let him know that I was watching it. I fucking love this movie. I fucking love Magnolia. It is. Let me pull up my Letterboxd review just so that I can steal some words that I said. Let's see, what exactly did I say? It is basically a perfect microcosm of ideas, stories, and themes blended together into a 3-hour unruly film that's messy, preachy, and altogether an experience that demands every second of your attention. And I mean that as messy and preachy in the best way possible, because the themes of this movie, I think the best way that you can get them across is by having these almost like hyper realized, exaggerated storylines that do feel so familiar and tie into things that happen daily, from finding love, relationships, daddy issues, literally
child molestation.
The movie connects to like child molestation, child slavery almost. Literally, when we look at Stanley and his shitty dad.
Fuck that dad. Fuck that guy.
Fuck that dad. The end of this movie, Stanley literally pissed himself on national television. He literally is like, at the end of this movie, like, you need to be nicer to me. And then he's like, go back to bed, Stanley. Like,
fuck that guy.
Dad. Let's see. So, Paul Thomas Anderson said like when he was making this movie that he wanted to make the ultimate San Fernando Valley film, because that is where he's from, and I think he did that by just having all of these interconnected storylines of, you know, people that are, again, some are connected rather loosely, some of them a whole lot more, and it's just ultimately a story about these people's lives, and just kind of how fate ties into all of this, because the beginning of this movie so perfectly sets up what this movie is going to be about by showing all of these different like coincidences that happen.
It
like,
is a warning.
The one guy,
I consider this to be a warning, because if you do not like the third act, you got no one but to blame it yourself, because the opening of this movie pretty much sets you up for it.
It sets it up that unexplained things, like there's just things that happen in this world that are just cannot be explained. They're just things that
unless you like to put Final Destination logic on everything, then I guess you could explain that death is causing all of this.
Because like, I love the thing of like the guy, you know, is jumping off of the building, and then as he is, you know, potentially falling to his death, he is shot by his own mother, who did not realize that she was going to shoot him, she was shooting at her husband. And so his attempted suicide ended in murder. But yeah, so, and there's all these different storylines that are interconnected. And I did not realize how much of this movie was simply tied around the game show. Like, the game show is the centerpiece of the movie that kind of puts it all together. So, like, you have, so Jason Robards' character, Earl, was he a producer on?
Yes, he produced the game show.
He produced the game show. And then you have Linda, his wife, very young wife, played by Julianne Moore. Philip Seymour Hoffman is his nurse, and then you have frickin' what's his face? Why can I not think of
who
of Jimmy Gay Phil Baker Hall? You have Phil Baker Hall, and you know he has a rocky relationship with his daughter, who John C. Reilly is infatuated with, and
yes.
Then you have William H. Macy, who has maybe my favorite scene in the entire movie. Because William H. Macy, he was kind of the child game show star who won big back in the day and everything. And I think seeing him, it shows like what Stanley, if he, you know, continued on with that game show and everything and didn't, you know, piss his pants and everything, what he ultimately could end up becoming. Just like hit it rich and everything, but then like
be a sad
working in a
sack.
shitty job and everything, and just not.
And his
being
parents
happy.
took all his money.
Yes, and so William H. Macy is phenomenal in this movie, and there's just the scene of him like in that fucking bar, and then when he tells the bartender and everything that he loves him, and because like the bartender has braces and he's gonna need braces and everything.
I don't know if I find that scene funny. I think he's just telling the truth. I think it's supposed to be played straight.
It is, but it's so. I think it's just so funny because it is so sincere and like exaggerated in such a way that
maybe I'm becoming too much of a softie, Jared, because a softie over this damn movie. But you know what I mean.
But no,
because this movie means a lot to me personally.
It is really
so.
It's funny, but it's like it's very tragic and everything. It's like. Because Donnie, in a way, he wants, again, what a lot of people are kind of seeking in this movie is like love or affection or something. And then, oh God, then we have fucking Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, who plays one of the shittiest human beings I think I've ever seen. He's a horrible
seduce and destroy
artist.
Scene in this fucking movie. God,
I think he like this movie is so timely because
it reminded me of fucking
T.J.
Andrew Tate. It
Mackie.
reminded me of the fucking Manosphere. It's the same shit.
He represents like incels.
He really does.
Oh my gosh, it's so great and everything. But I really love what they do like with his character, because Jason Robards' character Earl, he is dying. He has both brain and lung cancer, and he's basically on death's door, could be dying anytime now. And he wants to see his son, which is, really not something he's ever really kind of wanted before. Him and Frank do not have like a great father-son relationship.
No, they do not. In fact, they have like they're totally against at least Tom Cruise. He's against
there's
him.
a whole
and he has a good fucking reason
Earl
to.
Leaving Frank's mom when they needed him because she was dying and all this stuff. And but there's always that thing of like when you have so much regrets and stuff when you learn that you are dying or when you are dying, and the movie plays into that and leads to Tom Cruise's fucking crying scene. Just purely some of the best acting he has ever done.
I've said this before. You all know that Jerry Maguire is my all-time favorite movie. I will always stand by, and that's my favorite performance of him. But I will say, if I had to be objective, even though art is not objective, but I had to be objective, his role in this movie is the best performance of his entire career. It is.
It's so great and stuff because for a lot of it and everything,
he's just a terrible.
It feels like Tom Cruise is sort of playing an exaggerated version of himself. Like his character is basically him on Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, but before Oprah Winfrey, because that wasn't even
before Oprah Winfrey. But we then, like in that moment, he becomes that sad 14-year-old boy and everything whose mother passed away and whose father
left him,
ditched, and that stuff just
it hurts. It hurts.
Yes, honestly, the thing that got me the most though was not Tom Cruise in that scene, but again Philip Seymour Hoffman's reaction to the whole thing.
I think he's the stealth MVP of the movie. The stealth MVP. I mean, I can tell you several MVPs in this fucking movie, but he's the stealth MVP. I think it's one of his best performances, if not his best. Which is saying a lot because he's done a lot of great shit, but
Yeah, like everybody in this movie is just fantastic. And I know that what's his face? Paul Thomas Anderson. He looks at this movie now and everything, and like he feels like he could have cut like 20 minutes or so like out of the movie and everything. And like
I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. Not one thing needed to be cut. And the movie's over 3 fucking hours.
I was watching the movie and I was like, I don't know necessarily what could be cut. Like, I'm like, maybe like if you just wanted to focus on less themes, you could
cut characters.
You could cut out certain characters, perhaps. But like, but also, I'm not the director, and he made the movie and everything, so he's going to see the things that he wishes he had done more than I am, who's seen it for the first time. But I just really loved all these characters, and just the journeys and just the different themes that he explored it in a way. It is kind of just the ultimate movie because like, and in some ways it is all over the place, and that's not like that's not.
But here's the thing about when you said about messy.
Like
I kind of took it. I didn't say anything, but I kind of took it in a weird context because life is messy.
Yes,
all these
it is
lives
messy.
Are fucking messy as fuck.
It's all over the place because it's dealing with so many different things that humans deal with. And also, I think too that it helps because Paul Thomas Anderson is looking at this movie as what he's in his late
20s.
Well, he's in his late 50s now.
Oh no, he's in his mid 50s now. I think last
he's in his mid 50s now. So like he's reflecting as a much older, mature man now, but like he was a young man at this time and everything, and so you see
he was, I think, when this movie came out. I think he was 28, 29 when he did this.
See, it's like he hasn't lived all of these experiences yet and everything.
It's funny because I consider this to be his magnum opus. Out of all his movies, this is his magnum opus.
He hasn't seen all of these experiences yet and everything. He's seeing them, creating these experiences as a very, very young man and everything. And I think it's so commendable. And also, I'd be very interested in watching the stuff that really influenced this movie, particularly the two Altman movies, Nashville and Shortcuts. Particularly Shortcuts, I think, is probably what this movie, from what I've seen, is probably the closest to of, interconnected stories and stuff that runs 3 hours long. So I'd be interested in that. But now I want to get to the third act of the movie, because then we get to the good old frogs.
Well, actually, no. Wait, stop. I'm going to stop you right there for a second. You missed a crucial element of this fucking movie. You have refused to talk about it. Refused. Because in some ways, this component is the reason why Paul Thomas Anderson made this fucking movie in the first place. Oh. Amy fucking Mann. You talk about her now.
Amy Mann is the entire soundtrack of this movie.
Except for a couple of things.
Except for a couple.
Supertramp and Gabrielle. Her song Dreams is pretty much Donnie's theme song, and you hear it every time you get into this car.
Yeah, no. So much of her music is in this movie, and there's an incredible scene later on in the film where literally all of the characters are, I guess, listening to Amy Mann and start singing along and everything. And it is...
I don't think it's supposed to be them listening to it. I don't think... I genuinely don't think all of them are listening to it.
It's almost like that's the song that is playing in their head right now, and like what they're
but here's the thing
at the same time.
All right. I especially with this sequence, I'm a little bit defensive about. But the reason why it's that song, the reason why, on paper, it doesn't... you would think this doesn't fucking work at all. And you would normally say, what the fuck is that? I would normally say that. But why does it work? That song, Wise Up, that's the movie. That is all the themes of the movie combined into one fucking song. Listen, look, I think I told Jared this at one point. Pay attention to those damn lyrics. That is the entire fucking movie and all of its themes in one song. And can you believe that Cameron Crowe almost used it in Jerry Maguire. He was going to use it in the scene where Jerry and Dorothy, they got the divorce papers. They're getting divorced. They decided that song's not right for the scene. Let's just use Secret Garden, Bruce Springsteen again. And it was a perfect choice. I think he made the right call. It's my favorite movie of all time. I'm more defensive about that. It still ended up on the soundtrack to Jerry Maguire, however. But the way they used it here, my God, you could have sworn it was written for this fucking movie. You could have sworn. It is one of the most powerful sequences of the late 20th century.
Oh, something else before I get into the third act too that I want to mention briefly. I loved that fucking kid actor that Stanley had to fucking work with. Also, like,
God,
those two
punk.
did not do those two other kids did not do shit. Like, that was all Stanley there. Oh my God, and Luis Guzman is,
oh my God, he's fucking hilarious. Clark Gregg in the background.
Fucking, oh my God, Alfred Molina in the movie. Like,
that's one of the best scenes. Him arguing with Donnie. That's one of the best scenes in the entire movie.
There's just also, like, yeah, like, it was funny watching the movie and just be like, oh my gosh, there's so many, like, random, like, people that I know in this movie. Fucking Patton Oswalt, Thomas Jane for like 2 seconds. Clark Gregg is the cameraman.
I just mentioned that. I'm sure there's others that I'm not mentioning that I
don't. Lives.
Yeah, he lived. But yeah, it's just it's just an amazing. Like, of course, I'm really scratching the surface of it, but there's just like so many. I think everybody's on top of their form in this movie.
I think so too. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some other things I can talk about before talking
you
about.
You did not really mention Claudia just yet. You kind of held back on her a little.
Yeah. So Claudia is she is Jimmy Gator's daughter.
His daughter.
Who that they have a very, very rocky relationship, and Claudia is going through some things.
She's addicted
deals with a lot
to coke.
of drug abuse. Addicted to coke. And
most of her scenes in the movie, she's completely just on a drug high most of the damn time.
Oh my gosh. Just like her cleaning up and everything, and you have John C. Reilly just coming through, trying to talk to her and everything, and it's as weird as it is endearing, because it's like...
Now that scene was funny to me.
Yeah, no, it is funny, but yeah, he's just like, man, yeah, I'm gonna start talking to this girl who literally I am here because there was a disturbance.
A noise complaint.
But we learn towards the end of the film that Claudia believes that Jimmy, her father, molested her as a child, and one of the worst things that Jimmy could ever say is that he doesn't know.
It's fucking just at that point. I'm just like, fuck you, you sick motherfucker.
How can you say you don't know? You either did or you did not. By doing that definitely just implicates you.
It's just like, no. Oh my god!
And so a lot of Claudia's trauma and everything just makes I mean, you already feel bad for her and everything, but it's like,
but that just makes total sense. You're wondering why.
There's that
That's
new
why.
layer, and you have Jim, who's just trying to be such a good, nice guy, trying to find love in a way. And so, and I think it's just great that he's willing to look past like anything that she may see as flaws within herself. And I like how they more or less bookend the film, because I think that is the only that's the only story at the end of the day that has a happy ending.
Well,
more or less.
To be fair, I think Donnie has a happy ending too.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I think he does have a happy. But the thing is about it is that even though some of these stories do not end on very very depressing matters, I think the movie itself, at the end of the day, I think it's a very hopeful movie.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely do think so, and I feel like it's just, especially when you're going through the shit, watch this movie. I said it before when I did my PTA ranking. I think the reason why this affected me so, it feels like a fucking hug. It really does.
Because then we get to the frogs. The frogs, which could have like not worked. Like
on paper, this should have not worked.
Yeah, no. Yeah, this is
people don't like
putting
chemicals in the water that make the friggin' frogs gay.
But, like I could bring up like stuff that like people talk about with the themes and like the, blah blah blah, the raining flogs and flogs. I'm turning into Gary there. The raining frogs and like its connections to like Exodus. I don't want to talk about that stuff. I want to talk about that the frogs falling from the sky again connect to the beginning of the movie of just those random.
By the way, I feel like that's what PTA was trying to go for, because he didn't know about the whole Exodus stuff until he started shooting the fucking movie.
Yeah.
He didn't know what he was doing. He just did it because of it connected thematically, not so much because of all that stuff. But it just works.
You have all of these random occurrences that happen, and what do the frogs ultimately do? It's like, in some ways, they help people, and it's a way of bringing them together. In a lot of ways, the frogs falling from the sky, that's when everybody really starts intermingling, and you start seeing like characters entering the same frame as other characters that weren't like connected at all, and then you see the connections as you go along. Literally, what's this? Why can I not think? I'm so bad with names right now. Jimmy is going to
he's gonna
shoot himself, and the frog literally falls to where his life is spared, and now he has to he's not allowed to escape his guilt and potentially probably what he did. It's almost like a judgment call in a way too, but it is bringing people together. I think especially with those scenes with Jim and Donnie at the end of the movie, those are just some great moments there.
Also, another thing you forgot to mention, that not only that the frog prevents Jimmy from killing himself. It caused a house fire. So in some ways, is he presumed dead? I would like to think
I don't
so.
know.
I like to think that he is presumed dead because you never see him again. I think he's presumed dead.
There's this movie just it's not it was not what I was expecting, and it exceeded everything I had initially thought about what this movie was. I realized as I was watching the movie that I was like, man, all my ideas of what I thought this movie was, out the window. It's just an incredible film. I loved it. It is one that I am going to be thinking about for the foreseeable future. I very much want to watch this again very, very soon. And I'm going to change something here, because if you look at my Letterboxd, I gave it a particular rating. I'm changing the rating because I've had more days to think about this movie. This is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I did!
But this is an incredible movie.
I think, I feel like it's the best thing that PTA's ever done. One After Another is great. It came pretty damn close, but Boogie Nights and Magnolia are always going to be the top two for me.
I think I might like Boogie Nights only slightly more, but I love...
It's probably a better written movie because it's more...
Boogie Nights is a movie I'm going to watch if I just want a really good
Don't get me
time.
Wrong. Magnolia, you really have to be in the mood.
Magnolia is a movie when I want to be in my feelings.
Because Boogie Nights, you can watch anytime you want. You'll feel happy by the end of it. But with this movie, it's fucking serious. It really is. But again, Boogie Nights has its serious moments too, but it's more fun. It's a fun movie for the most part.
And you know what? Like, yeah, it's big, it's bombastic, and just it's a huge freaking movie. And I think PTA, being as young as he was at the time and telling this kind of a story, is a benefit to this movie, because it just, I think, see, as somebody that does love his later stuff, and like basically that he finally morphed into his own particular style.
Spoiler!
I love
and the Master. I don't like any of his later movies.
These early films where you see his clear influences and his just absolute love for particular directors and stuff. It's like I just love that. I love like that Boogie Nights is almost like this love letter to Scorsese, or like this is like a love letter to Altman. It's just like,
technically speaking, with Boogie, I'm going to correct you for a moment, because PTA even mentions this. He stole a lot from Boogie Nights, not so much from Scorsese, but from Jonathan Demme. He stole so much from Jonathan Demme. It might as well be a Jonathan Demme movie. It might as well be. And Jonathan Demme is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time too. So what does that tell you? But it's just, to me, everything about this movie works. Maybe it's because it's so blunt. Maybe it's because it's so blunt and so like it just goes for it. And it feels like, it doesn't feel like now where a bunch of filmmakers they do all this weird shit and it's just like comes off as completely self-indulgent. No. PTA knows what he's fucking doing in this movie. The camera work and everything, the editing. I'm surprised it didn't get a nomination for Best Film Editing. I think it should have. I think it's one of the best, especially for a 3-hour movie, it's some of the best editing you will ever fucking see. Ever. I mean, to the point where this movie, it just, like everything, it just, 3 hours and it flows by. It just, you're like in instant. It's over? Like, when it's finished, you're like, oh, it's over? And I don't really feel...
Nightclub arguably should have won Best Editing.
I mean, I'm not saying it's, but again, who won Best Editing anyway? Fucking American Beauty? If it did, it's fucking... Oh, to be fair, I think The Matrix, I understand. Because bullet time wouldn't work without the editing. That's pretty much the fucking editing, so I guess I understand. But this movie means so much to me on a personal level, and I'm just like, the rumor is that it's coming out in 4K this year. Please, for the love of God, put it out by the end of the year. Please, Warner. Before you get fucking sold out to Paramount and David Ellison just shits all over it. Just do one last good thing for me, please, and put it on 4K. It's just one of the best fucking movies I've ever seen. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's just, and it's the best from 1999 out of a year where, especially when 1999, it's the greatest fucking year of any fucking movie year. And this, to me, is the one that personally means the most to me. And it's just like, oh my God, it's just, I could say so much about it. Like, it's so many different fucking layers, and it's not pretentious. It's not up its own ass. It's trying to say something. This is a calling card. And I feel like the reason why Punch Drunk Love is the way that it is, more simple, straightforward, almost not quiet, but more of a quieter movie, is because it's the exact opposite of Magnolia, because Magnolia is just it's an intense experience. When you watch it for the first time, it's just an intense experience. And then you forgot to mention what I think is one of the best final shots in any fucking movie, when Jim is he goes to see Claudia. He confesses his love to her. When you read if you have the subtitles on, you actually see what he's saying, which is nice. And then right when he's finished, Claudia looks at the camera, tears in her eyes, and that's when you know she is telling us as a viewer, without saying a word, that she's going to be okay. Cut to black, end movie. It's just, and then with Save Me in the background, which is probably the most well-known song by Amy Mann as a result. My God. Can you tell I like this movie? Can you tell?
No, I couldn't.
So they gotta talk about Mulder and Scully for a moment. I remember neglecting them.
Yeah, I went on for way longer than I initially planned.
I do that, unless you're not finished.
No, I am done.
But before I get into that, I must talk about my raffle movie, which is something wildly different. Not something that I would expect Jared to recommend for me. I'm not sure if he has a personal experience with this movie, but
I have not seen this movie in a very, very long time, but this was a movie that I would put on as I was getting in elementary school, where I would get ready for school and start this movie and then come home and finish the movie.
So I am going to be talking about Hidalgo, which is a 2004 Western movie directed by the same man who gave us The Rocketeer, Captain America, The First Avenger, Joe Johnston. Oh, he also directed Jumanji, which I guess is my favorite of his movies. But I usually do like him as a filmmaker. He's a very consistent filmmaker, other than Nutcracker, which he had to finish for Lasse Hallström when he couldn't deal with the shit no more. But I feel like he's a very consistent filmmaker, so I was expecting, hey, this is probably going to be a good movie. And I was right. It is mostly a good movie. This movie is essentially about this. It takes place in the 1890. Yeah, 1890. And it deals with this guy named Frank Hopkins. He has a horse, a Mustang named Hidalgo. And at the beginning of this movie, he is a Pony Express rider. He's like, sending mail to like the military. Because I think this is like, is this?
Did somebody say Pony Express?
Is this like, because I don't think, at this time, there was no wars going on in 1890 or anything like that.
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh no, not that one. Not Hidalgo is not Twilight Sparkle. No, it's not Twilight Sparkle. Rainbow Dash. I'm sorry, but it's just essentially he carried a message to this regiment, the cavalry regiment, authorizing the massacre at Wounded Knee. If you don't know, there was this big massacre in this Native American reservation.
Yeah.
Isn't it a reservation? HBO even made a fucking made-for-TV movie about this. Bury My Dead at Wounded Knee. I think that's what it's called. It was a made-for-TV movie that they did, but he authorized the massacre. Essentially, he sent that message, and he has extreme PTSD over it. Cut to months later, and he's working at this Wild West show. And his boss is J.K. Simmons. And, it's just like, circus show. And they make fun of Native Americans, casual racism in the 1890s. But essentially, he gets a request to enter this race called the Ocean of Fire, which is an annual race that runs across 3,000 miles across the Arabian desert. You win $10,000 for winning this. And this guy, this Sharik guy, he challenges him to do this race. And for the most part, this movie is about them in this race, although there's a lot of other things that also happen along the way. I will say first is that the movie is particularly well shot. Then again, I feel like Joe Johnston makes very good-looking films. Captain America has this distinct style to it, and I feel like the Captain America style you kind of see in Hidalgo a little bit. I think it's the same cinematographer he used for Captain America as well. I think it is. It has this, like, the scenery, especially when you get to the Arabian desert. They shot this shit in Morocco, and the desert just looks stunning. It looks absolutely stunning. I just really like how this thing looks. Most of the movie is very practical. They don't really use a lot of CGI until the third act, and the third act has a lot of dated CGI. I'm talking about a scene involving cheetahs in particular that look really bad. And by ILM standards, it doesn't look very good. But again, it is 2004. Around the time when bad CGI was inevitable. But it is just, it's a beautifully shot movie. The movie's pretty well acted. I mean, you got Viggo Mortensen as the lead. I think he does a pretty good job. I mean, it's not the best thing I've seen him do. I mean, I think the best performance I've seen him do probably is A History of Violence. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I take that even as over Aragorn, to be completely honest. And then you also have Omar Sharif, who you might remember from Lawrence of Arabia. He plays the guy running this. I think he's actually has a really nice performance. I feel like the character is a lot more sympathetic than you probably think he's going to be. I really like that friendship that he has with Viggo Mortensen. There was this other British lady too, which this other character, this British lady also is a part of all this stuff. And she's not particularly interesting because she's kind of like the closest thing we have to a villain, because she conspires against this other guy who's, or this other Arabian who's running in the race. Not running the race. Racing the race. He's not running. She's conspiring with him to, I'll give you like this amount of money. Like, I don't know. She's kind of like, because it's always it happens after she tries to seduce Viggo Mortensen to bail out of the race. I'm like, I'm gonna say this right now. I don't like how the women are portrayed in this movie. They're either damsel in distress or skanks, quite frankly. You also have the love interest, who's played by Ilana from Lost.
Take a fucking drink.
And I did not know that too much until Jared recommended it to me. And she was also on Rome as well, but I mainly remember her from Lost. But again, her role on Rome is really messed up because she's the slave girl and she has an affair with Kevin McKidd's character. I forget his name right now. And it leads to his wife killing herself at the end of that season as a result. And then Ray Stevenson's character, Polo, is already, I think, married to that one chick who's like really sweet and all that. And then I think he has an affair with the slave girl over there. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Ray Stevenson? I'm just like, yes, she has a very memorable role, needless to say. In this movie, though, she, at first I'm thinking, hey, they're going to develop this character. Like, she wants to ride horses. She's like, she wants a lot of the freedom that she doesn't have because she's stuck in an arranged marriage that she doesn't want to be in. But then she just turns into a damsel in distress. Halfway through the movie, she gets kidnapped, and the race has to be interrupted so they can go on a rescue mission. I'm just like, oh boy. Not interesting to me whatsoever. But the performance was fine. J.K. Simmons, he's not in it for very much, but he does a good job. You also, one of them, like the main chief in this movie was actually the main Native American tribe guy who was in the season 2 finale and the season 3 premiere of The X-Files, who was trying to help Mulder recover after he got buried alive by CSM. And another actor from The X-Files is in this movie. It's the guy who plays Deep Throat. And I didn't know he was in the movie until the end credits. So 2 X-Files cast members and 1 Lost cast member. It's almost like Jared picked this movie almost like Magnolia. It's fate.
I think I selected it too because I was like, I think I heard you mention a few weeks back or whatever that you had not seen Hidalgo and that that was something that you'd like to finally see at some point, maybe.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, you slick motherfucker, you put all this stuff in there. Another thing is that Johnny Depp apparently turned down this role, the Viggo Mortensen role, and he didn't think it was for him, and that's how Disney offered him Jack Sparrow instead.
I think that was, I could see him in this role potentially, but we got Jack Sparrow. So.
Yeah, and then apparently also Viggo Mortensen apparently did the Spanish dub of this movie because he is fluent in Spanish, so he dubbed his character for the Spanish dub of this movie. So you're gonna hear him if you watch this movie in Spanish, which is crazy. Not a lot of actors can pull that off, but unless you're of Hispanic descent, but he pulled it off. Apparently, what I'm looking at also is that this movie is historically inaccurate pretty much from start to finish because the movie at the start claims it's based on a true story. Most of this movie was completely made up.
Nice.
But, it also was a big bomb, too, because it made $108.1 million on a $100 million budget. So it did not make its money back. And it also had the distinct fortune of opening, I believe, the same day. No, it was a week after the highest grossing R-rated film up until Deadpool came out The Passion of the Christ came out the week before. Good old anti-Semitism wins over a harmless, wholesome movie. Great.
Yep.
Great.
That's how the cookie crumbles.
But, you know, this movie was entertaining. It's a little too long, though, I gotta say. But again, I have this problem with almost all
I was
Westerns.
looking. It's like, wow, I did not remember. I thought it was like an hour 40.
No, it's 2 hours 16. No.
That's crazy.
But yeah, you know, if it was cut by maybe 20 minutes, I probably would have given like a 4 out of 5. But as it stands, it's a 3.5 out of 5 movie. I liked it. I just wish it could have been a little tighter. I also wish that they spent more time between the man and his horse, because I feel like Hidalgo gets shafted until the third act, really. They like forget about him. Oh, we need to focus on this damsel in distress all of a sudden. That doesn't do anything. I also would like to say that this movie reminded me also, even though it feels like a Western for the most part, so there are certain scenes in this movie that reminded me of The Mummy, the Stephen Sommers movie. And because of, especially with the, you know, rescue scene. That was pretty much something that Stephen Sommers would direct pretty much.
Well, and I mean, a few years, you know, quite a few years away and everything, but, you know, similar time period too.
Yeah.
1890s, and then the first movie takes place in the
1920s?
20s?
Is it the 20s or is it the
or is it the teens? I can't remember.
I don't remember. But then also the score is great. James Newton Howard, then again, he's always very consistent, but I feel like this score is very underappreciated. I'll take this over Vangelis' score for Alexander any day. Then again, I take this over Alexander in terms of quality anyway, but I'm just like, this movie was nice. It was a nice movie. What do I gotta say? I feel like, you know, it's not a bad way to spend a couple of hours. I feel like, you know, I always like looking at these types of movies where, especially under you because you must have known that. I don't know if you knew this was a fucking Touchstone movie, because I always have this fascination with Touchstone and Hollywood Pictures, Disney's former adult divisions before they bought Fox. Especially when it's obscure, I try to look at these movies because I'm like, hey, I like these obscure ass movies that Disney used to release, because back when they took chances instead of just IP over and over and over again, and then a single Fox title here and there where that's original. But yeah, it's a good movie. I recommend it. Now the viewership's gonna go down. Now the viewership has to go down, because I now must talk about what I've been meaning to talk about, what I was going to talk about if fucking power outages didn't fucking stop me. Folks, we have made it to the point in my X-Files review where I am going to have to review Fight the Future, aka the first X-Files movie. And yes, I own the VHS, so you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. I know what I must do. Here's the front, here's the spine, here's the upper spine, the top, the back, and then the tape. And then since this is a Fox tape, it has a week and year code, so 837. So that means it's printed on the 37th week of 1998. I don't know what the fuck was the 37th week. Probably in the fall of 1998. But this movie is in some ways a culmination of the first 5 years of the show, because certain things are paid off, especially at the beginning. And certain things from the season 5 finale are not even addressed, which shocked me. I thought for sure Gideon, who was kidnapped by the Syndicate, that poor kid who has potentially the secrets of the X-Files, he's not in the movie. Nor is Krychek, nor is Marita Kovarobius. She's still stuck in that coma for all I know. And a couple of other things. Mulder's ex, who got shot, is not in this movie either. But what we do focus on, well, we do know this takes place after the season 5 finale because, as you know, Mulder and Scully have been transferred to doing regular crimes in the FBI because the X-Files got shut down and they got shut down. And now, at the beginning of this movie, they are trying to track down a terrorist bomb in Dallas. And Mulder is completely bored by this. He does not like all this work for him. He's like, oh, this means nothing to me. Finding a bomb, that could possibly nuke down the federal building in Texas. Nah, that doesn't interest me. I need to find my sister. But, they eventually, because it's so pissing hot in Texas. And by the way, their boss for this mission is this guy named, what's the guy's name here? I could probably, because I have the X-Files wiki with me, so I can kind of make sure I know what I'm talking about. This guy is named Special Agent in Charge Darius Michaud. And Chris Carter reused Terry O'Quinn again in this role.
Oh my
to the
God.
point where I got confused because I thought it was his character Peter from Millennium at first. And I'm like, oh my God, we're having the full-on Millennium crossover before the finale on the actual X-Files show? But no, it's a completely different character, even though he acts almost exactly like Peter from the episodes that I have seen of Millennium. Still going through season 2, by the way, folks. I'll review hopefully next week. But he's not in it very much because he gets blown up. The bomb is in a soda machine, a vending machine. And he tells Mulder to fuck off because I can do it myself. And he doesn't do a goddamn thing. And the bomb goes off and the building goes on fire and he's dead. So Terry O'Quinn is only in this movie for like 3 minutes tops. It's probably so he could go back to filming Millennium. But as a result of this fiasco, Mulder and Scully are in a bit of a trouble. They are going to be reassigned somewhere else. They're splitting them up. They can't deal with the shit no more after 5 years of dealing with this shit. So they're going to get split up. And then Mulder meets this guy. What's the guy's name? Martin Landau plays this character, which, they actually got big actors to be in this. It's a movie now. You kind of have to have bigger actors. What the hell's the character's name? Alvin Kurtzwell. He is a OBGYN. And he writes books about doomsday prophecies. He believes that there is this virus that is going around killing people. And that virus, folks, is the black oil. Oh, it's something familiar that my viewers are. The movie even opens with the first case of black oil. The movie actually opens with in caveman times in North Texas, and Texas is snowing in the 15,000 BC. And for the first time in X-Files history, we see an alien attacking the caveman. And we see it for real. We just don't show the shadow. No, we see its fucking face. We see its face. And he beats the shit out of the fucking caveman. Although the caveman, there's like 2 cavemen. One of the cavemen gets killed by the alien. The other one stabs him. And we find out that the blood on the aliens is the black oil. That's their blood. And their blood carries a virus that essentially, what we later find out is essentially can cause the rebirth of aliens because they use humans as the host to grow these aliens. Essentially, think of a chest burster from Alien, but it's a full-sized fucking alien. Yeah, it's pretty. This movie can get very gory at times. For a PG-13 rating, there's some serious shit you get to see in here. So essentially, it's Mulder and Scully about to be separated. They're trying to fight the future, as the tagline and the unofficial subtitle of this movie would make it out to be, and trying to because this virus, if it breaks out more, it's going to cause the deaths of several people, maybe even the end of the world as we know it. And of course, the Syndicate knows about this. CSM absolutely knows about this, to the point where he and a couple of scientists are trying to create this vaccine, and they don't want Mulder getting anywhere near it. Needless to say, by the end of the movie, Mulder gets the vaccine from an unlikely place, but we'll get there. But essentially, they're investigating all this because the Syndicate is also covering up the deaths of this boy and these two firemen. The boy is actually played by Lucas Black from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, that fucking terrible movie. DK, Donkey Kong. I know he was in Sling Blade, but fucking Tokyo Drift, man, fucking bothers the shit out of me. I hate that movie. That's like the second worst Fast and Furious movie. But yeah, they're covering it up because they thought Mulder and Scully thought that, at least they were being told that they were in that building that blew up. They were not. They were it was a cover up. The building blowing up was a cover up for that. And it leads to basically the biggest adventure these two have ever had. I mean, this movie is a full-on movie. This doesn't feel like a 2-hour episode of the show just put in the theater. This is a movie. It has a grand fucking scale to it. The stakes have never been higher. The cinematography is bigger. More things go boom. There are more special effects than any previous episode of the show. And at the same time, even though it's dealing with all this ambitious stuff, they never forget the center of that Mulder and Scully relationship. And there are so many moments, particularly one halfway through the movie, when Scully essentially resigns because she doesn't want to get transferred. Because remember, she wanted to be a medical doctor, as she claims she's a medical doctor, but she went to the FBI to rebel against her parents, and she thought, there was some good to be had in there. And of course, she had many great times with Mulder and horrific times. I mean, the time that she got cancer in season 4 into season 5, but she transferred because there's nothing in it for her anymore, and she's gonna give up after coming so close to finding out what's going on with this virus. And he's like to her, right then and there, Mulder decides enough's enough and confesses his love to her. She's like, literally tells her, you made me a whole person, Scully. He says I'm not saying this verbatim, but he does. You don't owe me nothing. I owe you everything. And it's just like, it's sweet. It is such a sweet moment. And it's just like, he made her honest. That's another thing. It's just so beautiful fucking scene. And it leads to what we suppose, finally, are they going to kiss? Oh my God, they might kiss. They're going in. And oh no. They got so close to kissing, but they're still not together. Fucking dick tease, Chris Carter. You made me wait 5 years and they're still not together? Damn you. That leads to another thing I want to talk about. So they investigate this dome where the virus is being transferred via bees to this facility using this truck, and all the bees are in this dome, and then the dome opens up, and then they have to run away from these bees. And apparently there's this featurette on the VHS tape, which I would not recommend buying the VHS tape if you haven't watched the movie, because it ruins some stuff from the movie and the show. And this featurette's at the beginning of the fucking tape. So you want the movie ruined for you right away? Go ahead and watch this tape instead of just buying it, renting it, or something digitally. But David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson did that scene for real. They were running from the bees to the point where Chris Carter, who, yes, wrote the script for this movie, he also produced. He didn't direct it. Rob Bowman, who, other than Kid Manners, is probably the single best director of any episode of the show. He's the most consistent, other than Kim Manners, the most mainstay. Chris Carter, when he was, when that scene was being filmed, he had to put on a protective outfit because he's terrified of bees, apparently.
Oh my God.
Scully gets stung by a bee, right? What about she's about to kiss Mulder? And this, of course, the bee has this virus. So not only she had to go through cancer, she had to go through this deadly fucking virus too. And then the government pretend to be this ambulance driver. The Syndicate kidnaps her and shoots Mulder almost in the head. But he is barely hanging on for dear life, and he is survived because there's another real ambulance right across from the fake one. And that leads to a scene in the hospital. And what I really, really liked, of course, Skinner's in the movie in a couple of scenes, but not too much. But they managed to get the lone gunman to be in the movie, and he's basically a cameo. They're in this one scene at the hospital, and why they're there, other than they're best friends with Mulder, but Mulder, in order to get out of the hospital and try to find Scully, he needs to steal Byers, who always wears a suit. He needed to steal his suit, and he says, he told him, "You gotta strip Byers naked," and he's looking like, "What? I mean, your suit," so he can get the fuck out of there and find Scully and to find out where the hell it is. So, and then he meets into the well-manicured man who is a character on the show that I've never really discussed. He's this British man, works with the Syndicate. He's like the second in command. And he is a morally ambiguous character. We don't really know if he's good. We don't really know if he's bad. But he meets with Mulder after killing Kurtzwell because he told Mulder too much, so they fucking kill him. He has the vaccine. And, he knows that he cares about Scully, so he gives it to him, and he reveals the truth about what's going on with this virus, because this virus has been around. The aliens have been on Earth for many, many years. Ever since really the beginning of time, really, in the caveman days, the aliens were on Earth. And the matter is that there's an extended cut of this movie, which if you're a fan of the show, you owe it to yourself to watch the extended cut, because they only extend really one scene. This one scene where he and Mulder are talking in this limo, and he explains that the reason why Mulder's father allowed the government to take Samantha is because since this virus was so deadly, she could have a chance. Because remember, she got cloned several times. She could live out a life as an alien human hybrid, as a clone, so they could live on to hope for humanity instead of just the whole human race dying. A very selfless act. And that's only in the extended cut, because the theatrical cut of this movie doesn't have it, because they thought people would get too confused. Because for people who haven't watched the show, I'm just like, first of all, if you if you haven't seen the show and you want to watch this movie, I'm sorry, but I don't think this is, how am I going to say this in the very lightest sense? I feel like this movie works predominantly for the fans who watched the first 5 seasons, and it doesn't work for me as a standalone movie. I guess is what I'm trying to say. People say, oh no, people on Letterboxd say, oh no, it works absolutely as a standalone movie. No, not really. Not really. I feel like it's connected too closely to the mythology of the show. You have to really understand. Like for me, I understand all of this. I got no problems. But if you watch the movie completely fucking blind, you're going to get lost. You're really going to get lost. And you're going to ask, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? Unless you're really paying attention to everything I say in these reviews. So anyway, he gives Mulder the vaccine. He kills himself, because the car has a bomb on it, because he knows he's going to die by doing the self-sacrifice. And Mulder essentially has to go to Antarctica, where Scully is at, and, Cigarette Smoking Man and other people are doing tests, and this, underground alien, we almost assume at first it's like a bridge, and Mulder falls through it, and it's like this crazy alien shit, and, it looks like you know, and it looks like to me. Remember the scene in Independence Day when Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum go inside the mothership in space, and you see what the mothership looks like? It looks like the mothership in Independence Day. I swore, like it's not even like the same people, like production designers on this or anything, but it just looks like it to me. It's a lot more green instead of just like stale gray. But Scully's in this tube, and it's like the virus is in her. Mulder gives her the vaccine. Obviously, she survives it, and then there's this Super Metroid moment where they have to get the fuck out because shit's about to blow up, right? Shit is about to blow up, and there's all these other people there too, and some of the aliens are trying to break out of there and trying to kill them, and Cigarette Smoking Man has to fucking evacuate and all this other stuff, and then it leads to one of the most satisfying moments in the entire franchise, because it's not a season, the entire franchise, where they get out and the earth, the ground starts, you know, the ice, because they're in Antarctica, starts to crackle, and they're like, oh God, they're gonna keep falling, they gotta keep running. We presume that they fall to their demise, but then they push back off and they slide off this thing, and then they fall to the ground safely. And what is that underground thing? It's a real, honest to God UFO. For the first time in the actual show, aliens have been proven. Mulder has seen aliens. He has seen an actual UFO, not that cop-out, fucking plain-looking UFO from the beginning of the series. It is an honest-to-God UFO. And Scully sees it too, even though she is a little bit, you know, weak from all this other bullshit they're pumping into her. That is one of the most satisfying fucking moments for me. I'm just like, finally, justification. They're real. The truth is here. And it is just like, wow. And then the next scene, cut to the next scene, where they're back in Washington, and then you got the, I forgot what the Office of Professional Review, the lady who runs the office, the OPR, who's played by Blythe Danner, Gwyneth Paltrow's mom, who was also in The Lucky One, that shitty Nicholas Sparks movie with Zac Efron that I reviewed not long ago. She's the head of it, and she's like, you know, it pretty much revealed the Syndicate tried to cover everything in Antarctica up and in Texas, because they have other domes in Texas where they're spreading the virus. They're covering it up again. And they're like, damn it, we're back to square one again? After all that, even in the movie, we're back to square one. But luckily, there is hope, because Scully is able to convince Blythe Danner's character, and successfully does so, because by the end of this movie, we see Cigarette Smoking Man. He's in, I think it was like, what was at the end? Like, it was like some like Egyptian, like the Middle East. What was it? Hold on. It was Tunisia. And he is told by another syndicate. He tells another syndicate member, played by Armin Mueller-Stahl in this movie. He got a telegram, and the telegram says, and I quote, "X-Files reopened. Stop. Please advise. Stop. The X-Files have been reopened." And that's how this movie ends. It leads, obviously, into the 6th season. So now we're gonna get to fucking Gideon and Krychek, especially considering I don't even know if this is the same vaccine that Krychek created. I don't even know yet. Is this a different vaccine from his, or is it the same? I don't know the answer to that question. It is satisfying. Like, the X-Files reopened. I'm like, yay! It is a satisfying and hopeful ending, and it, you know, and it leads. And I think this is why people consider it a good standalone, because if people who hadn't watched the movie before, the series before, it will be a good lead-in to season 6 onwards, because the X-Files from this point on is going to be a completely different show, more convoluted than usual. Usually, I thought I heard that season 6 at first was like, you know, it starts to go downhill after that, but apparently season 6 is apparently excellent. It's really season 7, apparently, when everything goes downhill, and Chris Carter's making shit up as he goes along. And Then again, every writer mix up shit as they go along, but even more so. And they compare it to how apparently Lost got messy at the end. I'm just like, no. Apparently this gets messy too, really messy. And I don't want it to, I don't want to start ranting in 2 seasons time about how much I hate season 7, 8, and 9 and the revival and the second movie. Is like, hopefully everything goes well. That's what I'm saying. I hope it's good. I'm praying it's good because people don't have very nice things to say, especially after season 8 when a certain casting change happens, which we'll get to. But I love the movie. And the score, Mark Snow does the score just like he did on the show. I feel like his score for this is a lot more orchestrational. That's not a word. There's a lot more orchestral elements than the show did. The show has a lot of piano and synthesizers, but more full-blown orchestra. Special effects are really fucking good. I found out that the special effects were mostly done by Blue Sky before Blue Sky decided, hey, let's make a movie about a squirrel who's trying to find his acorn. This is back when they were a visual effects company. But yeah. And then they released a soundtrack album for this, but not a lot of songs in the actual movie. I will say the best song, it's in the end credits. It's the song Walking After You by Foo Fighters. Oh, gee, I wonder why I like it so much. It's the fucking Foo Fighters song. Although it's not like a traditional Foo Fighters song. It's more of an acoustic kind of tune, but that song beautifully represents the relationship that Mulder and Scully have had these past 5 years and in this movie. It's just really great. And then it's a phenomenal movie. I think honestly, this is one of the best films of 1998. It just so happens that you got to watch 5 seasons of a TV show to fully understand why it's one of the best films of 1998. Mm-hmm. So consider yourself warned. This is a 5 out of 5, and I'm done with my topics. Next week will be Millennium Season 2. So, Soren, you can now go.
Since it's a Cinco de Mayo rifle, I figured I'd use this time to talk about not just a change pick, but also the other movies my associates have chosen for me to review.
Oh, yes.
First, we have one of 2 movies Shane wants me to cover. The controversial 70s film Salo, The 120 Days of
Sodom. Oh, no. Ew, poor soul. Your sanity was not intact. No.
It's about a group of fascists who round up and torture a group of teenagers, and that's it. That's the entire plot. The movie goes for shock value in this over-the-top manner in terms of both direction of these actors and the content that's shown, which I wouldn't mind so much, except it thinks it's being shocking, daring, and deep, when in reality it's boring, pretentious, and childish.
So it's like Sam Levinson in Euphoria. There you go. Another fucking joke. I heard it got even worse, and nobody really gives a shit no more. And we're halfway through that season.
Especially with the lengths they go to make their lives as miserable as possible. Like, y'all thought a Serbian film went too far? This movie pushes the envelope so far that I don't know if I can describe it with words.
Really? Try! I say try!
Now, this isn't quite as bad as a Serbian film because it's at least well shot and has some decent performances that made me feel with these poor souls. But I guess I don't hate it as much as what's shown on screen, as much as I hate how it sees itself as more artsy than it really is. I give it the slug a 2 out of 10.
Oh my god. That's not a -1. That's a -1.
Now for the other movie change pick for me, the 2007 action vehicle Shoot 'Em Up.
That's a much better movie, although it's still not great.
The movie about Clive Owen protecting a newborn from these gangsters has potential for good old-fashioned action, which it delivers on. The gun action is fun and gory when you can actually make it out, and the performances are appropriately goofy and don't take this concept seriously. However, it's just ruined by a sloppy direction. The shaky camera and quick cutting make it hard to tell what's going on half the time. I'm talking like Taken 3 fence jumping bad.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And the CGI is just bad. There's a scene where they jump out of a plane, and you can tell they filmed it on a green screen. And
so it's like Uncharted.
And there's some bits of gore which would be awesome if it didn't look like Max Payne on PS3.
That's Max Payne 3. That was the one that was on PS3, right?
Yeah, it was.
So I get why this has a cult following due to its casting and concepts of action, but I just can't like it due to the overall direction. If they got someone like John Woo or David Leitch to direct it, I guarantee it'll be a lot better. I give it a 5 out of 10, but it's far closer to a 6 than a 4. I still recommend it as a one-time rental to see if it's your cup of tea.
I don't think the movie's very well written. That's another thing. I don't think it's very well written. It's like the jokes are not funny. No.
Next up, we have Victor's pick, that being Cameron Crowe's Elizabethtown.
Hey, you actually saw that movie? Oh, great. Time to be indulgent again.
This is a movie that's gotten a lot of flack back when it first came out, and after seeing it, I honestly don't get why. It delivers the same amount of sentimentality that Crowe's injected into other films of his, like Jerry Maguire and Almost Famous. And it's helped by characters that feel believable, brought to life by great actors like Orlando Bloom and Victor's senpai herself, Kirsten.
Why did they put Vincent on the screen? Fuck you, we're going to senpai. Fuck you asshole.
Granted, there are times where it can be a tad pretentious with its sentimentality, like that scene in the beginning where Orlando Bloom makes this Rube Goldberg machine just to kill himself when he could have just.
I think it's supposed to be funny. I don't think it's supposed to be pretentious. It's supposed to be ridiculous. I think it's intentionally ridiculous.
But Elizabethtown's still a decent, if far from perfect film, and an underrated film in Cameron Crowe's catalog, which I'm giving a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, at least he liked it better than most people, just like me. And it has a great cast. Other than those two, you have Susan Sarandon, who's terrific in it. You have Alec Baldwin before he shot somebody on set of a movie. You have Jessica Biel. You have, I swear to God, I think I'm missing one more person. I'm missing one more, and it's going to bother the shit out of me. Oh, God, it's going to bother the shit out of me.
Now to talk about Jared's pick, the 1986 drama The Name of the Rose. This is a movie that critics were lukewarm towards, but has gained a cult following over the years. And I'll be honest, I didn't like it. Granted,
he said I didn't like it. I don't like it.
Granted, the prospect of monks being involved in the murder mystery has a lot of potential and is very well acted from the likes of Sean Connery and surprisingly a cameo from Ron Perlman. And it's got some nice cinematography and music as well. But I mostly just found the movie boring. It's rather slow and nothing much happens throughout, and a lot of the film is just them talking with little to nothing of worth. Then the editing can be rather bad at times, with certain scenes I felt had too many cuts or some transitions a bit rushed. So while I understand why some people may like this movie, I'm just not one of these fans. Not the worst, but certainly not one I'll look forward to again, so I'll give it a 5 out of 10.
Oh, wow. But again, Chayton you should be lucky because it's not Chayton because he wanted you to fucking do Solo. Fucking ridiculous.
I would never have you do Solo.
I looked up who the other person I was forgetting was in Elizabethtown. Judy Greer. That's the person I was forgetting. That was the person I was forgetting.
Now let's fix the best costume design and makeup categories of the 2010s.
Oh, great. This is my favorite. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to say.
2010 costume design. We have Alice in Wonderland, I Am Love, The King's Speech, The Tempest, and True Grit. And I replace I Am Love and The Tempest with The Book of Eli and Black Swan.
Book of Eli deserves to be there.
Yeah.
I think so.
2010 makeup. Bonnie's version, The Way Back, and The Wolfman. And I replaced Bonnie's version, which wasn't even released until 2011, and The Way Back with Black Swan and Let Me In, and fill the last two spots with Book of Eli and The Fighter. 2011 costumes. Anonymous, The Artist, Hugo, Jane Eyre, and We. And
That's the Madonna movie.
Oh.
That was shit.
It is. Replace Anonymous, Jane and We with Captain America First Avenger, Midnight in Paris, and Thor.
Oh, but Soren, you are not a true cinephile because you put 2 Marvel movies in the costume Oscars. That is not real cinema.
Remember, Soren only got Solo because he picked Avatar. Worth it. 2011 makeup. Albert Nobbs, Deathly Hallows 2, and The Iron Lady. And I replaced Albert Nobbs with Bonnie's version, which would carry on from the previous year, and fill the last 2 spots with My Wick with Marilyn and The Skin I Live In.
I can see makeup, The Skin I Live In. Isn't that the one that Pedro Almodovar did, or am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, Pedro Almodovar.
Yeah, that's his like horror film that he attempted to do.
2012 costume design. Anna Karenina, Les Miserables, Lincoln, Mirror Mirror, and Snow White and the Huntsman.
Take the fucking Mirror out of there. Shove that movie up your ass. That movie's terrible.
I replaced Anna Karenina and Mirror Mirror with The Avengers and Cloud Atlas.
Fucking Mirror, such a terrible, terrible movie. Do not watch that under any circumstances. Just don't.
I have never seen it.
You don't want to.
I don't plan to.
And if you thought Excommunicado, the movie, is bad, that movie's a masterpiece compared to Mirror Mirror.
I mean, Tarzan Singh. I mean, I don't even know if he even done one good movie. The Cell, I'm not too big on. You know, the Nostalgia Critic Review ruined that movie for me. Ask me what it means. Ask me what it means. Oh.
2012 makeup, we have Hitchcock, The Hobbit, and Les Mis, and fill the last 2 spots with Cloud Atlas and Men in Black 3.
Yeah, Men in Black 3 should. Yeah.
2013 costumes, 12 Years a Slave, American Hustle, The Grandmaster, The Great Gatsby, and The Invisible Woman. And sadly, it doesn't star Elizabeth Moss. And I'd replace Grandmaster...
Or Vanessa Kirby, or Kate Mara, or Jessica Alba.
Yeah. Or the chick from the Roger Corman movie. Replace Grandmaster...
Who the fuck she is? I didn't say her name for a reason.
Replace Grandmaster and Invisible Woman with Catching Fire and The Lone Ranger.
Catching Fire, I can see that.
Yeah.
2013 makeup, Bad Grandpa, Dallas Buyers Club, and The Lone Ranger.
Oh, no, what? The Lone Ranger for best makeup? Oh, gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, because they made Johnny Depp look old at the beginning.
No, it's more like they put Johnny Depp and put him in fucking... They redded him up, I guess.
Replace Bad Grandpa with Evil Dead, and fill the last 2 spots with The Great Gatsby and Star Trek Into Darkness.
Star Trek Into Darkness. But then, you know, you could argue, oh, it's just Spock. I'm just like, what about the other creatures in that fucking movie? Come on. The Klingons.
2014 costumes, Grand Budapest Hotel, Inherent Vice, Into the Woods, Maleficent, and Mr. Turner, and I replace Into the Woods and Maleficent with Noah and Days of Future Past.
Get the fuck out. No. Inherent Vice needs to go. Fuck that movie. You know how I said PTA's later movies suck for the most part? Inherent Vice especially.
2014 makeup, Foxcatcher, The Grand Budapest Hotel, and Going to the Galaxy. And fill the last 2 spots with Theory of Everything and Tusk.
Since we're talking about Foxcatcher, hey, you want to win? You want to win? You want to be on that team? You want to win? You want to win? You want to win?
2015 costumes, we have Carol, Cinderella, The Danish Girl, Mad Max Fury Road, and The Revenant, and I replace The Danish Girl with Macbeth.
Which Macbeth is that one?
Michael Fassbender.
Oh yeah, the fucking guy who did Assassin's Creed directed that movie. The Assassin's Creed movie I'm talking about.
2015 makeup, we have The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out a Window and Disappeared.
What the?
That's a crazy title.
Mad Max Fury Road, and The Revenant. And I replaced The 100-Year-Old Man with Macbeth and fill the last 2 spots with Black Mass and Creed.
Black Mass, yeah, because they made Johnny Depp look older. That's what they did. Not fucking Lone Ranger, where you pretty much made him a Native American.
2016 costumes. We have Allied, Fantastic Beasts, Florence Foster Jenkins, Jackie, and La La Land, and I replace Allied with Hail Caesar.
I've never seen Allied. Is it any good?
Eh.
Brad Pitt?
I've wanted to see it.
2016 makeup. We have A Man Called Of, I know it's Ove, Star Trek Beyond, and Suicide Squad.
Oh, no. Fucking take out Suicide Squad. Take that fucking movie out of there. Fuck that. It doesn't deserve an Oscar.
Replace Man Called Ove with Hacksaw Ridge and fill the last two spots with Deadpool and Florence Foster Jenkins.
No, take Suicide Squad out. I made this point before. Take it out. It doesn't deserve to be nominated for that piece of shit. Fuck off.
2017 costumes. Beauty and the Beast, Darkest Hour, Phantom Thread, Shape of Water, and Victoria and Abdul. And I replace Victoria and Abdul with Wonder Woman.
Take Wonder Woman out too. I don't like the DCEU that much, okay?
2017 makeup. Darkest Hour, Victoria and Abdul, and Wonder. And I replace Victoria and Abdul with Shape of Water and fill the last two spots with I, Tonya and Logan.
Logan especially, I think, deserved it simply because, you know, it's a broken down, beat up Logan in that movie, you know.
2018 costumes. The Battle of the Buster Scruggs, Black Panther, The Favorite, Mary Poppins Returns, and Mary Queen of Scots. And replace Buster Scruggs and both Marys with Crazy Rich Asians, Stan and Ollie, and Widows.
That's a dark horse for Widows. That movie's great, but I don't really think about the costume design in that movie. I think about Steve McQueen and he co-wrote it. I forget who he wrote it with. Was it Gillian Flynn who wrote it with him? I think it was.
I think so, yes.
All right, Suspiria then. 2018 makeup. Border, Mary Queen of Scots, and Vice. And I replaced Border and Mary Queen of Scots with Black Panther and The Favorite, and fill the last two spots with Overlord and Stan and Ollie.
Overlord, yeah, that's a good pick for makeup.
I've wanted to see that movie, Stan and Ollie.
It's about Lauren Hardy, I think.
Yeah.
And funny that John C. Reilly, that same month, he did that movie, and then he also did Holmes and Watson.
Oh.
He and Sony pretty much had the ultimate yin-yang that month.
Oh my god.
2019 costumes. The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I replaced The Irishman with Dolomite Is My Name.
Since we're talking about 2019, was 1917 on that list?
It's not really a costume movie.
I call bullshit because they made the uniforms look accurate. I would call it Endgame otherwise on that.
2019 makeup. 1917, Bombshell, Joker, Judy, and Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. And I replaced Maleficent with Dolomite Is My Name.
Fuck both Maleficent movies. They suck. Both of them suck.
And that's it for all my topics. Now let's see what happens when we wish upon a star.
Yes. Before we get going here, it's almost... God, why do I have to pick on this movie again? It's been a couple of weeks since I picked on this fucking movie, but Jose won Instigate, so fuck it. You asked for it. What we're about to review tonight is real animation. Not this fucking slop-ass piece of shit. I don't use slop very much. I think it's an overused term. But if slop is anything, that piece of shit is compared to this classic that we're going to review. Pinocchio deserves respect over the fucking hundreds bullshit. Pinocchio deserves respect.
For the first time in a generation, Walt Disney's all-time classic, Pinocchio, is back in theaters.
Hello.
With its memorable moments,
What happened?
its wonderful characters, and its unforgettable music. Now, relive the magic with your family.
I think it's swell.
For anyone who's ever wished upon a star, it's Walt Disney's classic, Pinocchio, rated G. Starts Friday, June 26th at a theater near you.
Yeah, not crap. Not crap. Anyway, before I get going here, let me great. I got angry and now my cough is back after a couple moments where I'm not fucking coughing. Anyway, Pinocchio is a 1940 American animated musical fantasy film. It's complicated because who's the real director of this? Because the opening credits of this movie split them up as supervising directors and sequence directors. So who's the real fucking director? Walt Disney?
In a way, very possible that you could just say Walt Disney, but it's why, like, if you look at, like, my reviews and stuff, I don't start saying directors' names until Wolfgang Reitman, or whatever his fucking name is, actually gets billed later on.
Yeah, and he got billed for like 20-something odd movies until the end of right when the new people at Disney kind of started coming in. Anyway, the supervising directors are Bill Sharpstein and Hamilton Lusk. Sequences directors are Bill Roberts, Norman Ferguson, Jack Kinney, Wilfred Jackson, and Tee-Hee. It's like that fuck. It's I can make the fucking same Letterboxd joke about Michael. The critic can suck my hee-hee. They say tee-hee instead. Anyway, story, since there is no screenplay credit, is by Ted Sears, Otto Englander, Webb Smith, William Caldwell, Joseph Sabo, Ederman Penner, and Wilworius Balagilia, based on the novel by Carlo Collodi, produced obviously by Walt Disney, released on February 23rd, 1940 by RKO Radio Pictures. Not Disney didn't have its own company yet.
Nope.
RKO had the people who brought you King Kong technically released this movie, the original King Kong.
And
but it was $2.6 million, and it made $164 million worldwide across many reissues over the years, because initially this movie was a box office failure, but it obviously turned a profit.
Yeah, because around the time World War II was happening, a few of their films bombed. That one, Fantasia, and Bambi.
And then they had to do those shitty package features over and for the entire 40s because of the result. Anyway, when the gentle wood carver Geppetto builds a marionette to be a substitute son, a benevolent fairy brings the toy to life. The puppet named Pinocchio is not yet a human boy. He must earn the right to be real by proving he is brave, truthful, and unselfish. It's almost like this movie predicted Mulan.
Yeah.
Loyal, brave, truthful, unselfish.
I see.
Why the fuck doesn't the description even mention Jiminy Cricket? He's practically the main character of this fucking movie.
The main character, more or less.
100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes is a perfect score. It's probably the highest rated movie we're ever going to do on the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Just wait until we review Ballistic S versus Sever.
99 on Metacritic. So yeah, this is going to be the highest rated one in terms of both of those. 7.5 on IMDb, 3.5 on Letterboxd. And since it's a 1940 film, Letterboxd didn't fucking exist. So let's just assume it got an A+ upon reissue because... Anyway, my story with Pinocchio is very loose because going into this is the first time I ever see this movie to completion. I know it's sad. It took me till 26 to actually watch Pinocchio in its entirety. Remember, I was spoiled by the Disney Renaissance, and anything that was old, I didn't like as a kid. I'm like, fuck you, this is old. But again, I didn't know that Aladdin was from the 90s. I thought it was from a 2000s movie when I was a kid.
Yeah, this was of like the rotation of Disney movies that I watched as a kid. That this was among those. So this, Bambi, Tarzan, The Rescuers, and missing something, but yeah. Basically, in Bambi, I watched this like all the time.
And obviously, I knew Jiminy Cricket. I knew a Pinocchio. I mean, When You Wish Upon a Star is because it's practically the fucking anthem for this damn company. And it's just an iconic movie. You can't, obviously, I know what's going to happen in it. I'm very well aware of the story. But what surprised me when I turned this thing on was that how much I felt like I will reiterate a story that I put in my review. I will reiterate this story. When the movie started, I'm like, okay, let's get going. And then When You Wish Upon a Star comes on for the first time as the credits are rolling, and I don't know what it fucking did to me. And then the movie starts with Jiminy, fades in with Jiminy singing the last part of the song, and I swear to God, I don't mean to call this a fucking softie, but I feel like water was in my eyes. Like, I feel like I was supposed to. I don't know what that song was doing to me, but I thought it was so haunting and beautiful at the same time. I was like, I'm too thick skinned. Like, I'm too thick skinned. Why am I turning into a pussy? I'm a man.
There is something just so special about the early, like those first 5 movies in particular, just having moments that do that. For me, like, I don't get emotional like during like Snow White and everything, but that ending, like that final shot in Snow White, brings me to fucking tears every time. It's just literally a shot, and it's like Pinocchio does something to me. I
mean, I read that scene, and I don't know, and maybe it's just the fucking the singing voice of Jiminy. I don't know, it just does something to me, and then I'm just like, I gotta recover now. He starts talking, I'm like, I gotta recover now, and then I quickly recover. But I don't know what that song did to me. I don't know what it. And then I sort of felt it at the end too a little bit, but I wasn't like tearing up like the first time. But I was just like, I felt goosebumps. I don't know what it is about that damn song. I don't know what it is. I understand why it's the anthem of Disney. I mean, they went through 3 fucking logos of sampling this damn song. The original Disney Castle that we all remember briefly samples it towards the end of that. And then when they did the CGI Castle, Barkman scene and used pretty much the entire fucking song. And then when they redid it recently, Christoph Beck is like, fuck it, I'm just going to make it even grander with this big intro we have that they now use. It's the anthem of the company, essentially. And I feel like, I don't know, I just also think that, yes, thematically it works. It is the movie. But at the same time, though, I feel like this whole story and that song and the way that Jiminy Cricket tells this story, this, framing device, it pretty much, I think, by that point, remember, Disney was not making movies for children. They were making movies predominantly, I would think, for adults. And I feel like this movie, to some degree, I think was targeting the adults, who become so, dare I say, cynical and pretty much ask them, to believe again in, these miracles and all this other stuff that happens in life. And I don't know why I'm speaking so wax poetic about it, but I'm just like, it does something to me. I don't know.
This is just, it's such a special, magical little movie, and we talked about this like briefly, like when this movie was selected, but you look at Snow White. Snow White, an incredible piece of animation, one of the most important movies ever made. I look at that film, and actually, the more I watch it, the more I genuinely do like love the movie. But I do look at that movie, and it's very clear. It's it feels like shorts strung together into a film, and this one, it has something closer to a traditional narrative. There's still,
there's still stuff that's episodic, but I do understand what you're trying to say,
which happens through a lot of early Disney films and everything. But
even through the Dark Age, this was happening. So it really wasn't until the Renaissance when they started, fuck it, we're going full-blown narrative now.
I think at this point, though, Pinocchio almost sets the standard, like, for what, like, a Disney movie would be for even through, like, the Renaissance and stuff. Just like you can see the blueprint that Pinocchio left behind. And not to say that it's not there with Snow White, but again, I think Snow White established Disney as a powerhouse for animation, and then Pinocchio kind of perfected it in the second go around.
Yeah, I feel like, remember, this movie came out roughly 3 years after Snow White, because 1937, 1940. And they had this time to, I feel like they had more time to really focus in on that animation. I feel like out of all the classic Disney movies that I've seen, this one is probably the best animated. Then again, I haven't seen maybe to completion, but this is probably the best animated of the early Walt movies before Xerox.
Clearly, with like
Fantasia,
the water effects in particular later on in this movie. I know in particular that they focused a lot on the movement of water, basically. And it's weird to say how it, by saying like it looks realistic, I mean that it flows in a way that feels like real movement.
Yeah. Essentially, this is Avatar: The Way of Water before Avatar: The Way of Water.
And
I know Chayton would definitely prefer this over A Way of Water. I would,
because of course he fucking would.
This movie, also, it was definitely this movie started my fascination with the just the story of Pinocchio, where like I was just obsessed with different Pinocchio adaptations. Like,
oh god, better not be that Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And speaking of Martin,
it was the Jonathan Taylor Thomas one.
Oh god,
I watched.
Guess what? After this episode got delayed, I ended up watching the one with Randy from Home Improvement.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just
there's also that I told you about that Wonderful World of Disney ABC
Geppetto.
Thing.
Drew Carey, Geppetto.
Yep. But I'm
and we must not forget the real Pinocchio. Fuck this movie. Roberto Benigni made that masterpiece, and he did that masterpiece with an English dub to go along with it.
No, obviously the one with Pauly Shore is the best one.
Oh.
You're right. Yes.
But
Oh
we
my
all know
God.
that
And here's why I think of the Roberto Benigni version.
the best Pinocchio is just a compilation of all of Pinocchio's scenes from the Shrek movies.
Oh my God. But yeah, it's just
So the 2019/2021 was decent.
I
But,
need to see that one.
And
the,
the Guillermo del Toro one's a masterpiece.
but I do think that even though I do like the Guillermo del Toro movie, I think this is the best Pinocchio adaptation there's ever going to be.
And it's one of those things too where it's like when you think of Pinocchio, like the character Pinocchio, what comes to your mind? It is this version of the character. It's kind of like it's just synonymous at this point and everything.
It's common sense.
This is most people's introduction to this character. It's not the book. It's not. I hope it's
God
not.
forbid
Roberto
you grew up with the
Benigni.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas one first. God forbid.
But like, it's become just so iconic and has just a really good message. So sometimes I feel like you can look at a lot of like the themes in like early Disney movies that Walt produced and see them as very like shallow ideas overall, or that maybe they give you bad ideas of, like, oh, wish upon a star and all your dreams come true and everything. But it's not that like you do that and everything will be okay. It's the idea, the fantasy of it all, and the idea that things can be good like that and everything.
I feel like this movie deals with much. I feel like humanity is the main theme here about humanity and what we do, to make our lives, more real, and it deals with very real things.
Also, what's the name of the fox?
I forget his fucking name right now.
Oh gosh.
Honest John.
Honest John is so freaking funny in this movie.
He is.
There's a lot of
certainly a better animated fox than Star Fox in Super Mario Galaxy.
Here we go again.
But no, I love those scenes like very early on and everything, where he starts getting Pinocchio into trouble and everything. I'm sure. Well, and then also like just a bunch of like the other songs and everything. Like, I don't know the name of the song, but when he's the I Have Strings song.
Hey, it's Ultron's favorite song.
Yes, it is Ultron's favorite song.
I was about to make that joke.
Such a good song. I will always remember just stuff that just like when you watch stuff as a kid and then like you watch something and you become obsessed with like maybe a particular scene or like an image, and you just like you remember that image in your head, and then you watch it years later and stuff, and it just all these memories flood back to you. I feel that way with The Pleasure Island. sequence.
Oh, it is probably the most deranged scene of the entire movie. Looking back,
the scene of them in the pool hall is just so iconic to me.
Where
like,
am I, jackass?
To the point where it's like it's an animated film, and I can
What do you know?
like,
a G-rated movie that actually uses the word jackass. Certainly,
I can smell the beer. I can
more than most
smell
PG-rated movies nowadays.
The smoke from the cigars. It's just it's so well animated in that moment. And also, that's where the movie gets fucking dark all of a sudden, and it's like, well,
Jesus.
Like the one kid that's like, I want my mom.
Yes. Jesus.
Yeah.
And then
movie
also
deals with child slavery.
Yeah, it also deals with, you know, they deal with, you know,
and it certainly awakened something in a kid in the 40s.
Not only that, I also think that you know, it also like that Pleasure Island scene, like they're just beating the shit out of just like it's almost they just like I don't know. It's like there's no authority. It's like Lord of the Flies, but like
oh my gosh, I just like here in West Virginia at least we have some people have I don't even know what they're called now, but they basically have rage rooms where you literally just throw shit around and everything. And I'm just like, that's what Pleasure Island is in this movie. They're just throwing
rage room. So
a whole place where
essentially,
you can just throw shit around.
A rage room. So essentially, the most screenings for Animal Farm.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. But you know,
gosh,
that's insanity. But I will say, I've never seen that. You know, obviously, other than what you mentioned about "Sorry, I Got No Strings," you know, there's another song that Honest John sings. That wait, it is a funny song, but you know what it also reminded me of? I swear to God, I don't know if Disney did this on purpose later on, but I feel like he repurposed that song and made the Mickey Mouse Club march. Think about how that song goes.
Oh, I could see that.
The MICKEYMOUS. That's, I don't know if that's true, but it just reminded me of that for whatever reason. But, you know, but again,
Let's ask Ryan Gosling since he was in the Mickey Mouse Club.
That was the new Mickey Mouse. How about the original Mickey Mouse Club? You fucking.
Oh, okay.
Not the new Mickey Mouse Club. You fucking. Ugh. Anyway, yeah. Out of all the characters, first of all, I want to say this first. The movie is called Pinocchio, but this movie really should have been called Jiminy Cricket. This is his story. He is the protagonist. Pinocchio is very crucial to the resolution, but Jiminy Cricket's the main character. We're seeing it through his perspective. This is his journey.
And Jiminy Cricket is literally a character that ended up like existing past the movie that he was in. Like he's in other media, like during the fucking like he's in stuff that's in the package film era.
Yeah, I think was it was he Fun and Fancy Free?
Yes. Like very briefly and everything, but it's like they knew the type of they knew they made a fantastic character, and you know, just not necessarily narrator, but you know, like guide through the movie and stuff.
Yeah, you know, it's just to me, I feel like Jiminy is the most important character. because he is kind of the one that has to take responsibility for Pinocchio to some degree. Yeah, of course, Pinocchio has to take responsibility for his own actions, but he's there to guide along the way. He is his guide. He is his conscience. This is just, doing what's best for him, trying to help him. But obviously, Pinocchio is very, let me put it this way, naive. Very, very naive. And as a result, he gets into serious about, especially Stromboli, who practically takes him in as a fucking puppet slave. Puts him in a fucking, probably put him in his own damn prison cell at that point. And it's just like, but again, I find Stromboli kind of funny too, kind of. And, but it's just like, he's not doing very nice things. And then Geppetto is, I don't know, it's very, it feels like the grandpa you never had, or maybe the grandpa you did have, but it's just like, there's this warmth to that character. It is so sincere. It's almost Cameron Crowe levels of sincere. And it's just like, it's beautifully done. I think it's so beautifully done. The Blue Fairy, Deus Ex Machina for the first half of the movie. That's all she really is. She's literally a god, but not from the machine. But, find it weird that Jiminy Cricket is like flirting around her. And he has like,
her, but also the female puppets.
Oh,
yeah. Oh my gosh. When I was little, I was obsessed with all of the different like clocks and stuff that's in Geppetto's workshop.
Especially you love the one with the woman spanking her.
With the woman spanking the
that would not fly.
There's a lot of like blink and you'll miss it, like stuff like that. That's just really like funny and just like it's very much like humor of that time period.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, okay. It's almost like, God, I make a really bad joke here. Jimmy Gator saw this movie and said, hey, maybe I should do that.
Oh my God.
I'm such a sick fuck.
By the way, the remake, what do you know? The remake also uses the lyric, an actor's life is gay.
God. Yeah, he does. But it's just, it's just, yeah. I will say, some of the best stuff in the movie is towards the end when Monstro appears. In terms of animation, it is I don't like Pink Floyd that much. Reminded me of stuff from The Wall. Like very surreal, but realistic at the same time. It just looks a certain way. It just looks really, really amazing. And it's just like, how the fuck did they do that?
It's definitely such a huge step up from what they accomplished in Snow White, which was already just like incredible. But it's crazy that they could have very much like played it safe and everything, but they just continued to push the boundaries of animation this early on. Like, it's like, hey, we have this art form. Let's like let's experiment with it. Let's go crazy.
Yeah, I just feel like they're just going as big, grand.
There's some madness to it.
Yeah, just a sense of urgency to that, to all that, and then when it comes down to it, even if it's so episodic, you do care about what's going on, and you're just, Pinocchio is presumed dead, and he does this selfless sacrifice to save Geppetto. He's just like, fuck it, I gotta do this, to protect him, and then that's what gets him to be a real boy ultimately by the end of it. And it's just it's an honorable sacrifice. I wonder if Armageddon was inspired by this.
AKA the only time I could take that movie seriously.
Fuck off. I love how it ends. Although I will say, if there's one minute criticism I'm gonna make, the ending to me feels a little tad bit rushed. I feel like I could have 5 more minutes to try, maybe like have a scene where going back to the framing device with Jiminy, so just ending, going, summing it up. But
that is the thing. So most Disney movies, even up to like the 90s, where it's just like, all right, well, the climax happened, the resolution is the last 10 seconds of the movie.
Yeah. That's how it was for a very long time until I think, when did they stop doing that? Around when Walt died, or maybe before Walt died, they actually put actual resolutions? Or was it the Renaissance when they started really? Because you have to remember, this movie, this is 1940. All the credits were at the beginning. There is nothing at the end other than a title card that literally says the end. That's it. The movie is completely finished after that. Then when you start to have to rely on end credits, you really gotta boost that ending up more, guys. I think I'm gonna say they started really doing this around like putting more legitimate endings. Fox and the Hound, maybe Black Cauldron.
That's an interesting. That would be, man. I just came up. You just helped me come up with like a good idea for like a video essay or something of like how changing, like putting credits at the end of a movie transformed the ending, like the ending of movies.
Well, and to some degree, especially with Disney, because they were just like, oh, get in, get out.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, Pinocchio, out of all the Walt movies, I think out of all the ones that Walt did, this is the longest. This is the longest because this movie clocks in at around 88 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Most of Walt's era movies, 75, 76, 77 minutes long. And then when we got to, I want to say, maybe, I want to say it's the Black Cauldron where they got a little long. No, that was 80 minutes. So I'm going to say the Great Mouse Detective when they started
Fantasia was 2 hours.
Pushing it more. Huh?
Fantasia is also just a very
about 90.
movie.
I think it's 90. Actually, no, fuck it. 74 minutes. Oliver Company, I think, is around 80. So I guess Little Mermaid was like the first one to get 90 minutes. I think. No, that's 83. So I guess like around Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast when they started becoming 90 minutes. They decided, fuck it. We're going to stretch this shit out. We're going to make as much money as possible. We're not going to get in, get out. And, it's just interesting to go through that. But I feel like this is the quintessential Disney movie because it built so much for what people like to see in Disney movies. I mean, what is, the movie they decided to celebrate their 100th anniversary with, Rish, was kind of very similar in concept to this, but again, maybe it was too ambitious for its own good. Some people say it was not well written at all, but I feel like the concept failed simply because, very much like the MCU nowadays, professional fan fiction. Because there's a bunch of Easter eggs in Wish, allegedly. There's a lot, practically professional fan fiction. Just like how the MCU, too much multiverse crap, too much, enough, stop. Anyway, that's a rant for another time. But I feel like my point is that the themes of this connect to a lot of the other movies that come from Disney later on, because you always think about the I Want song, but we never think about the I want idea. This gave us the bench point for the I want kind of story. I want, for example, with Little Mermaid, she wants to be, explore. She wants to become, something else, more human. She wants to explore the human world. That's what she wants. That's what Part of Your World is about. It's an I want song for an I want story. Lion King, I want to defeat my sadistic as fuck uncle and become the king of the Pride Lands.
That's my favorite song in the movie.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, I want to be accepted by everyone in Paris, regardless of what I look like. That kind of scenario, And it built that. And I just respect the shit out of this movie because it's just ambitious for the time, especially because this is practically fucking animation's version of Citizen Kane in terms of ambition,
I would agree with that. I would say so. Like when it comes to the golden age of Disney, when I look at those like first 5 movies and stuff, obviously Bambi is my personal favorite. But if I would say if there is one of those 5 movies that you need to see of that era, I would say Pinocchio.
I would say the same. I would say the same thing. I feel like this is practically a perfect movie. So I'm gonna go 5.
I'm going 10.
Very good. Yep. It's a very easy decision for me because of the ambition of the project, and also when you wish about a star haunting me, the way that it did, it just engulfs me in that brief moment, and it's just
I love when you have moments like that watching a movie.
Yeah,
that's when you know it's special.
Yeah, it's a special. That's exactly what it is. It's a special movie. It's very, very special. Better than K-pop Demon Hunters. That's not fucking special. Anyway, let's spin now because I feel like I've been
wheel.
Please.
Jose's picks.
What?
Jose's birthday picks.
Oh,
that's right. I should probably stand by. Also, what I think I need to do. Look at all the stuff I have on my list of the movies. I have only a handful of movies left. Most of it is in the black. I need to refill my
That's
fucking.
Racist.
Huh?
That's racist.
No. As we wait for Jose, I might as well think of at least let me see how much I have right now. 1, 2, 3. Did I already count 3? 4. 4 movies left? No, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6? What? Ugh, I'm confused. Mommy, I'm confused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5 or is that 6? I can't count today. I can't.
What color are you?
Huh?
What color are you?
I'm red.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
And plus, it's my choice. My choice doesn't count because it's randomized.
7.
I pick whatever.
Yeah, I see
7
on there.
7.
Yeah, eventually I'm gonna have to start picking up fucking new ones. Maybe next week I'll add more. I gotta think about that now. But great. Might as well put the.
Jose chose Oppenheimer and The Wrong Missy.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The Wrong Missy? You want me to watch that piece of shit again?
Oh, I remember seeing that one.
And Harley's in it. And that was before I watched Lost. And Roman Reigns, too. Fuck that piece of shit, bro. Fucking David Spade. Fuck. Can't take it. No. This is stupid. I can put Oppenheimer fucking easily, but god damn it. Oh man, that is ridiculous. Oh my god. would that be the first fucking Netflix movie we would ever review as a result of this? I remember I have a hate boner for Netflix, especially their original movies. Please, for the love of God, if it fucking lands, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. I'm gonna force the wheel again because I went through fucking Alexander. I had enough, god damn it. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna shuffle this because I don't want this shit infecting my fucking. I want it to look fair. Come on, look fair. There, mate. No, that doesn't look fair. What does look fair? Fuck it. Just 3, 2, 1. I don't got time for this.
Big money, big money, big money.
Oh, thank God, not Terrifier 2. Thank Jesus. Thank Jesus.
I have not seen this movie in a long time.
I haven't seen this movie at all. I mean, I own the digital copy on iTunes, but I've never seen this movie. I don't even know which cut to watch because there's the theatrical cut and then there's the director's cut. I think I own the director's cut.
I think I've only seen the theatrical cut.
So, but I don't know. Do I have to watch? It's a very long movie. Which cut do I watch?
I'll watch the cut that I re-edit.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, we're going to have American Gangster, the Alexander cut. Jesus Christ.
It just intercuts shots of Colin Farrell's balls.
The good news is that it's on Netflix, so it's easily accessible to everybody for next week. Although, again, I own the director's cut, so I don't know which one I'm going to watch. Probably have to look up some research, but we will be reviewing that next week. And it's something that I have been wanting to see because Denzel, I heard is great in that movie. Ridley Scott, I heard, is that Ridley Scott's last great movie before he shit
Napoleon?
No, Napoleon, nobody likes except for you.
Duel.
Nobody, the last duel.
The Martian.
Okay, I guess when Ridley Scott was relevant. This is the last time he was relevant.
Yeah, because it was early 2000s still.
It was 2007 when this movie came out.
Mid 2000s.
Oh, yeah, because he did Body of Lies after that. That didn't do so well. Robin Hood. Ugh. Prometheus. Double. Ugh. So, yeah, I guess it's Ridley Scott's last great movie, I suppose.
The Martian.
Oh, The Martian, but the last commercially successful movie until The Martian. So anyway, next week, I will probably refill that fucking wheel with some of my picks. I'm probably going to pick 10 movies. And maybe I'll put the X-Files there so I could give Jared and Soren a hard time for not watching the show or holding them at gunpoint. Maybe I will do that. Because there's no way I'm going to get to...
Now I actually do want to watch the X-Files movie without having watched the show just to get the, outsider experience.
But yeah, and then, another thing that I want to mention before we get out of here. Me and Jared are still negotiating. I don't know if I mentioned this live, but we're negotiating a show that we're going to review together. I wrote down, I don't know, he didn't give me a list, but I wrote down 10 movies, and not 10 movies, 10 shows. He showed interest in Felicity of all shows.
Yeah.
Because Abrams and Reeves and, the only trouble is finding it because it is on Prime Video, but it's only a live stream where you have to tune into it.
Oh.
And the thing is that I did find out that there was this, I don't know if it's a fan edit, but because the streaming version of the show doesn't have the original music that was used on it. Apparently, this person on Instagram did a restoration project of the show, put the songs that they used originally back into the thing. I'm going to see if I can get my hands on the damn thing.
That'd be great.
So I could get a hold of it, and then I send you the link, so that way you have access to the show.
That would be great.
So yeah, maybe if we decide that's what we're gonna do, because there's 10 other shows.
I'll also look at some other shows too.
Yeah,
Let's
because
see.
it's not.
See what I can
because
find.
I'm not saying I'm not against doing Felicity. I'm absolutely 100% doing it because it's
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams' first show, motherfucker, and Matt Reeves is kind of his big moment before the Batman, before Apes. It's both their big moments. They co-created this fucking thing together. So if we are going to do it, I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be very excited to do that. But yeah, in the meantime, next week, American Gangster. Hopefully we don't get sick or no power goes out. Fingers crossed. We'll see you next time. Bye.